Wanted to ask you,
Yeah,
is
that's it.
smoking allowed on the podcast?
Oh, of course. I'm doing it all the time. You just can't see it. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Good, good.
I'm
Okay.
actually I'm actually a little bit I'm a little under the influence right now, actually, as we speak.
Yeah, that's good. It's Sunday, dude. Like we have to do what we do on Sundays. And honestly, it's a good part of the podcast how people can see that we're not really trying to be filtered, you know?
Boom,
Some dude
boom.
said I'm hardcore because I'm trying to eat on camera. I'm
I
like,
did see
bro, like
that.
what the fuck do you mean? Like, you know?
That was so random, but I feel like the only person who would think that is somebody who, first of all, doesn't follow the sport and doesn't understand it. Like, of course you're gonna eat. Like we all eat. You know what I'm saying? Like we
No, I
all.
was literally finishing a workout, and I had to
uh,
like get something in before we get started. That's all. Like, you
I
know.
mean, either way, if it's time to eat, like you're not gonna wait. Maybe if we've been on for 2 hours, you could wait an extra 30 minutes. But if you gotta eat, if this is time for your meal, you're gonna eat regardless of, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's on camera, off camera. I could be training a client. If it's time to eat, I pull out the meal. You know, it is what it is. So that's just part of bodybuilding. I mean, if somebody doesn't understand that, I just don't think they really understand bodybuilding at all. You know what I'm saying? Oh, so Stu is trying to be hardcore today too because he's eating the meal.
Yeah.
I think he
See,
froze it.
does that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Stu
And he
froze a
was
little bit.
saying like, "Oh, did Jay Cutler or Ronnie Coleman ever eat a meal on camera?" I'm like, dude, this is not what we're doing. You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, the first and foremost thing is right. There was no podcast when they were competing, so it's
That's
it's
very
kind of
true. Yeah.
it's kind of a stupid question, but I think people like that they just don't get it. Like we wouldn't think anybody was hardcore for eating on camera. It's just normal to us. Just like, of course you're gonna eat on camera. You're gonna eat off camera. We literally eat all day long, right? So it's like it's irrelevant. Stu, I mean, me and Zay we talking about this comment. Somebody made a comment that Zayd was trying to be hardcore by eating his meal on camera.
I'm so unprofessional. Hey,
But
is there a delay on me still?
no,
Or
there
okay,
was a
good.
bit when he got on, but I think it's good
I
now.
I'm at my parents' house still, and they have like three Wi-Fi next networks for like
Mhm.
their backyard and upstairs and downstairs, and I was on the wrong one, so
Yeah, yeah.
hopefully this is good now.
You're how long into your off season now?
Hmm, like 3 or 4 months. Um,
Damn.
but I haven't been like pushing up for a while. I actually backed my food off a bit last week because I couldn't eat, man.
That was gonna be my next question. I was gonna say, how's your appetite? Because I've only
It always
been.
always sucks, man. But it was
Uh,
like I was really it was kind of a mental thing. Like I've been
mhm,
kind of trying to figure some shit out, but
mhm.
beyond that, it was just like my food just wasn't going through me. It was like literally getting like slowing down, you know.
Really?
Sometimes like, I always got to force my food down because I don't like eating, but it still goes through me. It digests and it's like not coming up when I'm training, right?
Mhm.
This was actually to the point where it was like get like stopping up in my digestive tract and it was like wasn't digesting it properly. So I brought it back and shit, I probably lost some weight over this whole trip down to Dallas
Damn.
because we were running around the whole time. But
Yeah. Yeah, my appetite. I've only been actually off season for I think what 3 weeks. Granted, during my health phase, I didn't pull back the food. I probably should have, just because that's the time you can put on. That'll be a good time to put on the food because so you'll be primed and ready to go. I
just a
didn't do it
little bit, just like a bit usually.
exactly.
Usually
Yeah, not
like when
much.
my clients get like start a cruise, like I'll keep the food the same for a little bit and then a couple weeks into it, I'll usually drop it down depending on what their body comp is like.
Boom. Simple as that.
Um,
Yeah.
and then I'll drop it down a little further when the drugs go back in because you can potentially get like a little recomp there and then we can start pushing up again.
Yeah, yeah. So like, I'll, you have two different kind of clients, right? I mean, you have a bunch of different clients, but like when it comes to like metabolism, right? I have clients that even during the cruise phase, their body composition is still so lean that I can continue to push up the food. which is super rare because I can't do that shit. Most people would probably get fat, but I have one client in particular that I'm thinking about. I'm always pushing his food up. Like there's no period of time. It's like every couple of weeks I have to push it up until he literally just can't eat any more food. But and then I might add in some cheat meals. But yeah, even during the cruise phase, I have to keep pushing him up because he had like shredded glutes off season. That kind of guy, you know.
Dang. Yeah.
Somebody just posted too. I think it was John Jewett, and I'm like, why does John have shredded glutes in the off season? That's crazy, right?
Hey, Carlos.
Can you hear us?
Ridiculous.
Hello, guys.
Very.
It's good,
Hold on,
Carlos.
Carlos.
Speaking of off season, you got one of the most muscular guys on the circuit.
Apparently, I'm a mass monster now. I didn't
Yeah. But I feel like we're in a special era where you have people who are mass monsters and still have a small waist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like who was the first one that you could say that about? Who turned pro first? You or Andrew?
I turned pro in December, and then Andrew turned pro at the Arnold in March.
Okay, yeah.
So
I
it
think
was like back to back.
it was you. It was like a mass monster with a small waist. Then it was Good Vito, right? I think it was Good Vito next. Good Vito, like a big guy with a small waist. And you got, of course, Andrew. And then nowadays, it's like the standard. It's like you have to have the size, the condition, the fullness, dryness, and you got to have a small waist. You know what I'm saying? So it's everything. How you been, Carlos?
Good, brother. I've been good. Just, you know what I mean, just keeping it, you know what I mean, keeping the main thing, taking care of business.
Exactly,
We're traveling a lot, so we kind of slowed that down a bit from like the Olympia and stuff. And
yeah,
man, just doing the business, you know what I mean? Trying to figure out what we're gonna do for next year.
What's up, Ken?
What's up, Bitey? Carlos,
bro?
Turn out, bro.
how you guys doing?
Chilling.
Bitey, funny story before I continue. You know, Carlos is the one that actually he actually was the one that actually helped with my back double. So
Oh shit! Okay.
We both work with Andrew. Right? So
I didn't even think about that connection. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Every time I would send in my check-ins, Andrew would just be like, dude, like, what is going on with your back double? Like, you cannot open up. He had Sid with me. Sid was like running like posing sessions with me, nothing. So he was like, listen, you got to go see Carlos, man. So, so I actually hit him up, and we met at the Aries event.
There we go.
And I was like, all right, Carlos, like you gotta help me out, like, you know, and just a little tweak, man, just because my arms, I was pinching them back too much, just a little tweak solved the whole fucking problem. I just couldn't get it just verbally, you know, over the internet. Anything, but he's just like, oh yeah, just move your arms this way, and it's like, all right, I guess it works.
Have to see him in person. Is Carlos from Jersey too? Do you live in Jersey, Carlos?
No, I'm from Delaware. But it's not too far from like the location.
Yeah.
Probably like maybe an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think Carlos, I'm like central, because I think you're still closest to south. So like, it takes like I think 2, but
yeah.
I think I'm gonna come over sometime this off season. I want to come over to the new you guys' new training facility over there. I want to come get a session with you. So
for sure, bro. Yeah, they just increased it to like 20,000 square feet, but let it be before the end of January, because I'm gonna be in Brazil for like a minute, bro.
Oh damn.
So let me ask, how does that work? Because are you still working your because I know you were working like a full-time gig. Are you still doing that in conjunction with this?
Yeah, but I just work from home, so it's pretty solid, you know. And the time difference isn't that bad. I think right now it's about 2 hours because of the daylight saving time. So, if anything, I'll just be up earlier working. So you know what I mean, it wouldn't stop my flow.
Weren't you doing like research for a long time? Because you have a graduate degree, right?
Yeah. So I was working for I am working for a genetic lab. I was working for a research center, which is like a little different, but at the same position, just different, you know, like different offices, basically different labs. So I'm still with them. You know what I mean? Slowly, I could leave, but you know what I mean? It's just like I get good insurance.
Yeah.
which is a bodybuilder, which is great. So it's kind of like, why, you know?
Yeah,
I think
so the money runs out, man. You keep that going.
Yeah, they might have to kick me out, man. They might be like, man, you're just not working anymore. Like, you gotta go.
I think Carlos and Ken are the only two on the podcast that work. The rest of us just like leave that shit to God. We just like whatever's going on. whatever. we just winging it out here. No. But Carlos, did you pick like a show for next year or like a game plan for that?
No, not yet. So I'm going down to Brazil to actually do like the rest of my off season there. And
That's dope.
probably do something like mid January, mid July. So like maybe around that Orlando time, Chicago.
Yeah.
Something around right there.
Is your supplement sponsor is from Brazil, no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Darkness. So yeah, they're in
Okay.
out of like Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Learning Portuguese yet?
Say again?
You learning Portuguese yet?
I am, man, but I'm actually going. It's. I'm gonna have to really buckle down when I'm there, which is gonna be good because you're immersed in it. So I think I'll pick it up a little bit easier.
I can't imagine, man. Like that, it seems like such a weird foreign language. Like Spanish, I don't know. It's like there's some similarities there.
Yeah.
Portuguese it sounds so weird.
It's like a Spanish French mix, bro, Italian or something.
Yeah.
Because they're like we're like chow and also
you're like what?
What's going on here?
So,
but it's honestly like the people are amazing. It's great. I'm just excited to be able to have the opportunity.
That's impressive, man. Call it, to be honest, because I mean, as bodybuilders, we're all just stuck in our ways. You know what I mean? Like we have a routine we do every single day, and you throw us out of that loop, and it's like, how do I survive? And like you just like going there for the off season, spending a couple of months. I mean, that's awesome. Like me, I know just myself, it would be very hard for me to do that adjustment, because I'm just like a creature of habit. So that's impressive, man. I applaud you for that.
No, you best believe I'm going to be doing the same thing. It's going to be like gym, work, back to the apartment, man. It's going to be the same thing, just in a different place. Like it's not changing.
Yeah.
I think the crazy thing is you're still working like your regular job too, because guys will go to Kuwait and it's like all you do is bodybuild and play video games pretty much. It's like that's not that complicated. Okay, you're in a
Yo, Stu. Sorry, Stu, but I think your mic is a little low for some reason.
Oh,
is there like a
better?
volume? Oh,
is that
perfect.
better?
Now you're
like
talking.
Out of here.
Now you're talking. No, for me, it's when I'm in an environment that's not home, I get uncomfortable. The only way I can lock in is if I create like I have to be there long enough to create like a new normal. So if I'm there for like 3 days, I'm going to be a little off my game. If I'm there for 2-3 weeks, then I can create a new routine. Now I feel at home, but I have to be in a situation where I'm comfortable. It can't be maybe like a stranger that doesn't make me feel home. It has to be somebody who's like welcoming, like, yeah, use the fridge. And once I feel home, I'm good. But if I feel a little awkward, I don't get good sleep. My appetite isn't the same. I feel like stressed. So I don't know. I usually try to stay home, but that's because I don't have a place to go that make me feel like home other than being home. You know what I'm saying?
You can come visit me, man.
Thank you, man.
Home. You won't fit on my couch, but we got like a blow up. We got a good ass blow up mattress.
Exactly. And
name on it.
Fentanyl. You got the fentanyl too.
Yeah, baby. 3 needles. The fuck you talking about, dude? You live in LA. Like you're worse.
No. On the last episode, we said fentanyl, and Ken hit it up. He was talking to us off air. He was like, "Yo, guys, I didn't want to say nothing, but that fentanyl is fucked up stuff. It's gonna hurt you." He's like, "No, not fentanyl, bro." Fentanyl is a little fucked up too, but it's not that fucked up, right?
I don't even know what. I was like, what's going on here? I'm gonna talk to you guys after the podcast.
Yo,
he's like, we gotta have a serious talk about this. You guys need some help.
I really appreciate the concern. Like you care. He really cares. I love it.
I didn't, mind you, because we're on the podcast, right? But I went back and watched it, right? Because I wanted to see, the time steps and all that. So I was watching it, and I saw Ken's face when I said the fentanyl. He was like, and he started shaking his head. He was like, this guy was like, "Are they doing fentanyl in this motherfucker?"
And he also thought we were dumb enough to like talk openly about smoking fentanyl. Like,
I
You
mean,
never know today, Stu, man. You never know.
especially with
Thanks,
Stu.
man.
Stu
fuck
don't hold
off.
back. I wouldn't be surprised, man. Stu had me doing some editing. He had me do some good editing some of the episodes. Yeah. But Compton had me cut like 30 minutes of the podcast, bro.
That was the best part, though. Fuck, man.
That was
That
good.
was the best part.
I gotta start keeping these episodes like in like a playlist, like a private playlist, and just to share it to everybody we know, so they can see that shit.
That'd be dope.
What's good, Joe?
What's up? Sorry, guys, I was late. I had to go fucking run a quick errand.
Just don't let it happen again, Joe. You're good.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, everybody familiar with Carlos? Carlos, are you familiar with these guys, these group of gentlemen?
Never heard of her.
No, I've definitely seen everybody on the gram and stuff.
Dope.
I met Carlos in 2022 in the Olympia. I don't know if you remember.
No, I remember.
You were, awesome, yeah.
So now Zaid has the second biggest legs on the podcast now.
Unfortunately, yes.
No, did everybody keep up with the? Well, I guess we all was talking. Did you keep up with the nationals, Carlos?
I did a bit. I like to see like the class winners and everything, and then the overall. And I knew some guys who were competing, so I was definitely trying to follow it as much as I can. I think the hype was in a little bit different certain areas. Like the young guy came in at the class of Physique.
Yeah, that was impressive.
He looked legit, dude. He was peeled.
Yeah, you were there. You're there, right?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Look at this one. Look at this one.
Yeah, where is she?
Damn.
Who's that?
Yeah, baby, that's what you're into or what,
bro?
You come on, man. You know
you
that.
just exposed yourself. You follow her, don't
style,
you?
baby, bro.
Yeah, of course I do.
That's essentially what they're looking like on Instagram.
Of course I do.
BBW.
You don't want to see that search history.
That looks like Mrs. Incredible.
Let me stop the share before I go to my search history. You don't want to see.
Just fucking edit it out. You're good.
Yeah.
No, not even. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it in. All right, but anyways, yeah, the nationals. What did you think about the battle for the overall?
Me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Carlos.
No, I thought it was good. I was seeing. I saw Trevor. On the gram a lot, and I saw the way he was coming in, and I think he definitely brought that conditioning, and he had good amount of size on him, and his back was ridiculous, of course. So yeah, I thought it was a good nod for him to get the overall.
Where did I see that video? What page? I saw a video of like the overall comparison somewhere.
Probably check Suleo's maybe.
Let me check.
He's been posting some of them this morning. But I actually want to ask Stu because I watched the whole thing, and by the way, everyone that won, congratulations. I think everyone in their class completely well deserved. Right there on the top, right there in the center. You skipped it. Go all the way up, right there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Well deserved. But when I was watching it, I got to be honest. On this one, my eyes was going more to Justin and Jamal in the front, and from the back it was Justin and Trevor. So if I split it both ways, I think Justin, in my opinion, would have taken the overall. I just thought that the size difference was just it was too apparent when I was watching it. But Stu, you were there, so you probably have a better idea.
I actually didn't even go to finals, dude. So prejudging took 9.5 hours from.
Dude, I heard it was ridiculously long.
Fucking sick, dude. And then so they did bodybuilding classic, then board shorts for prejudging, right? And then they did it backwards for finals. So board shorts, classic, and bodybuilding was the last group. So like they just stretched that shit out forever. And they didn't finish until like 9 p.m.
It looks like Jamal is staying in the middle. It looks like Jamal was in the middle the whole time. No?
When I did it
later.
When I did nationals, we ended at like 12 a.m. Dude, it was the worst thing ever.
Fucking crazy. Yeah. So the I think I understand the argument to be made for Trevor winning.
Yeah.
So I think he kind of exposes some of Justin's weaknesses namely his shoulder width. I'm sure he's
Mhm.
sick of hearing that at this point, but like that's about all you can knock on him. Like he had 50 pounds on that guy, right?
Mhm.
And he had better condition too. So
Those
given
glutes.
that, yeah, it's wild.
Mhm.
And in person it's even better, right?
Yeah.
But between those two things, I figured they would give it to Justin. That's what I expected. But I think, I think Trevor has, and this is not a potential competition, right? But I think Trevor has more potential to grow into being like a 212 guy, because he's got better structure, and he
Mhm.
didn't look much smaller than him on stage.
No.
You look at how much space, how much of the void like his legs take up, like Justin's legs take up, and compare it to Trevor. He's a little bigger, but like not 50 pounds bigger,
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
I thought Justin would get it, but I am not mad about it, I
Look at
guess.
that front lat though, bro. That's a
Mhm.
Yeah.
crazy.
I think the polish, his polish, I don't know what the bodybuilding term for that would be, but just his polish. You look at all your physiques on stage, and Trevor's polish just stands out, right? It's just like
Mhm.
his physique looks fresh. Everything just, the tan was right, the glaze was right, and you're just like, okay, everything kind of just like stands out on this frame. So like either way, I'm not mad at the outcome.
If
I think it
If
still
you
works.
follow the trend of the bodybuilding like winners, like with the 212 and the Olympia and
Mhm.
all that, they're
It does
definitely
follow
trending
that.
towards this physique.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
Yeah.
reminds me a
He's
lot of
definitely matching. Yeah.
Lunsford. He's
he
got like a
reminds me of Nathan Epler.
Oh yeah, he
You
Yeah,
guys
does.
remember,
Yeah.
yeah.
especially like in his
Derek.
most
Derek.
see it.
muscular, he's got those impressive delts. Like there's roundness in place you usually don't see it on like white dudes.
Yeah.
And he's
I
got
could
just
see.
pop, and it was cool looking.
I could see Derek too. You notice anytime a light heavy wins the overall, they have one thing in common, which is the shoulder width. They have
Yeah.
incredible shoulder width because you're
Mhm.
not gonna win as a light heavy. The only thing you're gonna lose on probably is gonna be size. But if you're wide enough, like you said, he didn't look that much smaller than Justin because Justin has narrow clavicles and he has really wide clavicles. If it was the other way around, he would have looked too small, too much smaller than him, right? So
Yeah.
I think like when Derek won the overall, he was a light heavy, and also somebody said somebody's name. But yeah, usually when that happens, you have to be really wide. The way I look at it is this, right? I feel like Justin is beating him on condition. I think he beats everybody on condition. But we all know it's not the most conditioned guy that wins because then Roman would be Mr. Olympia, right?
And you
But
could say that Justin beats him on muscularity too, but looking at this, he's like, do you see any
Mhm.
open air here? Like any gaps or voids? Like,
I got
because
to
I
be
don't.
honest.
Like
I
he
don't.
looks fucking big for a light heavyweight.
I think technically Justin does because he's heavier than him. And he's like really dense and grainy, but
Hmm.
I don't know if his physique looks more filled out than Justin. So I think from a judge, I think you could even make a case for him being more muscular than Justin because I personally feel like his physique looks more filled out. I feel like Justin actually would need to add more muscle to fill out his frame. And this guy does
I
have a
don't know if he can, man. He was in the
Yeah.
low 250s. I
damn.
mean,
And
it's
then
huge improvement from the USA's. I think he was in the 230s there.
Oh,
When
250s?
Yeah, but this year he was in the 250s, like a year and a half later. So huge progress there. But
Oh,
where do you
that's
go from
crazy.
there? Like it's going to
Bro.
pile on in places where it
Mhm.
already is, and it's not necessarily going to improve the silhouette. Um,
Bro. And he was peeled to be in the 250s. It's crazy.
yeah,
But I was about to mention that too. When I seen the overall lineup, one thing that Jamal and his name is Tyler.
Trevor.
yeah,
Oh, Trevor.
Trevor.
I'm sorry. One thing
Mhm.
that Trevor and Hassan is the other guy. I'm drawing blanks today. What's the other guy's name? Jamal.
Jamal.
Jamal and Trevor. Okay. I think I smoked too much of the vape today. But
So good.
Jamal and Trevor, like if you look at the midsection, Justin, when he's hitting the poses, is perfect. But in every transition, the stomach was at least in finals was letting loose a little bit, and it just took up a
A
lot more
little
space,
bit, just a
a
little
little
bit.
bit. But if you look at the width, the width of the waist in comparison, it wasn't close. Like their waists were much smaller from side to side. You know what I'm saying? So I think that played the role in the V tape. But granted, he stands next to anybody else's size, he'll probably have a small waist actually. You
Hey, I got
know?
a question. Where would Sid Rye have landed in this lineup? We know where he thinks he would have landed, but where would he have landed?
First place. First, he would have taken overall.
He definitely could have won. He definitely
Dude,
could have won.
he's punching the air right now.
Yeah,
I had a whole 30-minute call with him last night. And
I can only imagine.
he is fired up. Let me tell you, anyone thinking the card this year, next year, just don't do nationals because that man is fired up. He's
I think I agree with him. I think he could have won this. He kind of does in the heavyweight class, like he kind of does what Jamal does, but all a little bit better. Like his conditioning a little better. He's a little more muscular. He's got like the nice flow and shape. But there's just a little more there, and there's a little more detail and graininess, and so
yeah.
I think if Trevor did Tampa next, or well, it would have to be what's the earliest show in 212 next year? Whatever that show is, I think if he went straight to 212, I think he would qualify pretty fast. Actually,
I don't know, man. There's not a lot of local domestic 212 shows.
New York.
New York.
What I'd say too is I haven't seen Trevor in person, so I don't know what the size is like. But the guy who won North Americans too, I think him and Trevor, like next to each other, those two guys, they can go to any 212 show next year, and they could definitely be in the top call-outs. Like that guy, I think Joe Carrillo or something like that. He was really good too. Like really good.
Oh, think about it, though.
Huh?
Not as good as you though.
not quite, but you fucked up. But the way I see it is, right, if Trevor hops on a 212 stage right now, right, and the guy from North Americans, who's gonna beat Trevor? I mean, the top five aren't gonna be there, right? You got, of course they would win. What's the guy? Karif Bajo would beat him. Outside of that top five, who's gonna beat him though? To take the qualification from him. You know, there's some decent guys, but his polish, his shape, his muscularity, I think he would place top 7, top 6, I don't know, at the Olympia. Just with the way he already looks. Not even thinking about the improvements he would make by next year, you know what I'm saying? I think he's really good. For whatever reason, I really like his look. I like the polish, I like the posing, the whole nine, you know. But I like Jamal as well. I thought Jamal looked really good in that.
Dude, Jamal's so funny, man. He was like, I wouldn't say he was a nervous wreck, but he just needed constant reassurance that everything was okay all weekend. We kept on running into him, and he was just like, so I'm just not sure if I'm like quite there. And you know, I don't know if you guys ever talked to him, but he has this kind of like slow cadence to how he talks, and it was kind of cute, you know. But like, you know, I'm glad he got it.
Yeah.
But that attitude is because, dude, he's had so many second place and third and fourth and fifth. Yeah, I kind of can relate. So that's why he started doing that, because he stopped thinking I'm gonna get first anymore, because he got disappointed so many times in the past. But congrats to him. I'm so happy for him. He finally got it.
Oh, you know who else looks sick? His younger guy. He coached. Jamal coached him. He won the lightweights, I think. Chris Radali or something. Radali. He looked insane. This kid looks like nothing walking around in a t-shirt, and he was gigantic at 155 pounds. Yeah, he was freaky.
That's hard to do. Did everybody agree with the? I guess everybody agreed with the placings, like per class.
Yeah.
But
the
overall
in the classes, like, there was like a steep drop off after like second, third, fourth place in almost every class. You know, that's just how I see it. Like, there was not a lot of depth here. There were huge classes, 45 light heavyweights, but just like after 1, 2, 3, it's like
that's insane. But nobody agreed with the overall? Am I the only one that agrees with the overall?
I can see it.
No, I see it. I see it.
Yeah, I still saw Justin doing it, but I'm not there's no real argument. Like I think it's fine. Like I said, the shape and everything is what sold me.
Yeah, like when someone presents their argument to you in a logical way, it's hard to dispute it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like either way, I'm fine with him having it or Justin having it. Either way, it must have been close, you know, between them. But I'm fine with the results. I mean, Trevor's a great guy, so you know, well deserved.
Well, we having Trevor on next week, so I'm gonna tell him you guys didn't think he should have won.
But you're right about the shoulder width. Each light heavyweight who wins an overall is probably very fucking wide.
Yeah, he's just so full and round. Like
that's good. Yeah,
it's crazy.
I was talking.
This is just me. My. I don't know if it's my personal look on things. I just think also like when someone throws a vacuum, people get bamboozled. Like,
oh, for sure. Hell
once they see a vacuum, everyone's like, all right, that's the guy. You know what I mean?
It does. I mean, it does look good depending. If you have that shoulder width and good lats, it looks good. Now, if you have no lats, I'm not going to call any names, but some people that hit the vacuum and they have no lats from the front, it doesn't look that good, man. Yeah. Or if your waist is really wide and you hit the vacuum, it just looks weird, you know? Now, when people like Derek or Keon or Trevor hit it, I got to be honest, if they didn't hit it, I think they will lose quite a bit of points. Imagine if Keon just flexed down on his abs. You'll be like, what the fuck? Like, you'll be like, what's going on?
I think that heavily helped Charles Griffin, too. Yeah. Charles Griffin completely, like,
changed.
You look at his front double before compared to now with that little vacuum, that saved
night and day.
Fucking career.
Hey, I saw him in the airport this morning. The fucking security guy was digging through all of his bags, and the security guy was being a dick, dude. He's like talking to me. He's like, what'd you say? And he was like, I'm talking to my buddy over here. It's like, he's just being an asshole.
He's being there.
Yeah.
He's actually kind of tall in person, right? I thought Charles was short.
He's a little taller than me, like 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, I was going to say he's about my height.
I thought this, I mean, in the past, he looks, I mean, from the, like watching him on, I thought he was like, I don't know, 5'7". I didn't know he was actually like, you know, 5'9". So because I mean, I guess he doesn't have the super wide clavicles. Maybe that's
he doesn't look that big in person. I will say that.
Oh,
obviously, he's got like all the quality that he has to win shows, but like, you know, he doesn't take up a lot of space in a shirt. You know, it's just a width thing.
Who's this guy? Oh, he won one of them.
Oh, he looks fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, he looked pretty impressive here.
Yeah, like, I mean, maybe more of a bodybuilder physique, but like...
I was just going to say that, yeah. Shit, this guy with 10 more pounds could win the overall in bodybuilding. Think about that. You know?
Yeah, don't even get me started on how many guys were in Classic. Fuck, dude. I mean...
Well, like, they still lost to a 19-year-old, apparently.
Apparently.
I mean, that guy is...
I want to shout out this guy. I think he came third in heavyweights. I don't know his name, but he was the guy. He was actually a light heavyweight in North Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Came in here into the heavies, and he came third. I don't know. I think it starts with an S or something. So he did pretty well. He beat a couple of good guys, you know, over in the heavyweight class. I think Bodybuilding Without Borders has the like third and fourth places or something. No, not Chris Knox. Sorry, he came fourth. So he didn't beat Chris Knox.
Yo, there's one
dude that on the door for a while now.
Yeah,
forgive the pun. Knocking on the
yeah, he has since like 2017 when I competed as a middleweight.
Dude, every time I see a national show, I see him in all the like top 5 comparisons. I'm like, how long has this guy been, you know, knocking at this door? Like I saw him at yours. I've seen him everywhere.
Is he like always a heavyweight too?
Seems like it, yeah. So far,
yeah, dude's got to go up to the supers. I'm sorry, like if you've been doing this for 5 years,
yeah, you got to go.
Got to just go, man.
Yeah.
Look at Carlos. Carlos went from middleweight to super heavy. He was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just go all the way to the damn supers." But what do you guys think about this guy's potential? Like, I thought he would do well, but then he did the summer shredding show, and I was like, bro, you can't be serious if you do that show. No offense. So I was like, maybe he's not that good, right? But then when I saw him, I was like, okay, because you know how sometimes Instagram doesn't translate, right? Like he looks crazy here, but in my head I'm thinking, I don't know how much of that is lighting and angles, you know. But I was impressed. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, because
Stu was,
the summer shredding from what I recall, because one of my boys, Marky, he coaches a lot of guys that do that show. You can't be a pro, but they also pay. I think they pay the
10
athlete.
they do,
grand.
yeah. They
Fucking
do,
10
yeah.
grand. Look at that
Okay,
check
yeah,
there.
there we go. He got 10 grand too.
$10,000, bro.
Listen, if you're an amateur, well, man, like go ahead. It's 10 grand. That's a pro show win right there. I mean,
I'm an amateur in the Elite Pro League. Let's go.
Don't make me have to edit shit, dude. Don't make my job harder.
Yeah, I've never heard of the Elite Pro League. Excuse me.
What is that? What is that?
I have BB only. I have BB only.
McDonald's at home. That's what I call the elite. McDonald's at home. You know that.
Yeah. I mean,
but this guy,
he did it the right way, right? So he hadn't done any NPC shows. He's like, all right, I'm just gonna go win 10 grand real quick, and then I'll transition over. You know,
and then win the whole shit. And then win the whole nationals. So he made 10 grand and used that shit to cover his hotel and fucking gear and whatever. And then he goes and wins anyways. That's you got to commend that. You got to commend it. And bro, 19, bro. That's pretty fucking young. So, I mean, listen, Bumstead is having a kid. He got a new hairline. That to me kind of doesn't scream somebody who plans on doing it much longer, because you would wait until you're done before you fix your hairline, right? I would assume. So I would think either maybe one more. He would probably want to document it, and I don't think he would just want to just stop like that. He might want to talk to his fans on stage and the whole nine. So if he does one more, it seems like there's always a younger guy who's coming up and passing this guy. So this guy, I think he could be 4 years removed, maybe 23, 24-ish, because his condition is right on par with the top guys. He just would have to add maybe some more size. His weight cap is going to go up 10 pounds, and he wasn't probably even close to his weight cap. So we could be looking at definitely a new star in the Classic, because he's already pretty famous. So I'm definitely.
That's what I was going to use, star, because the Classic is so unpredictable versus the Open. Like, there's a new guy coming in every year, and there's a new person that's going to challenge Chris Bumstead. You go to the Olympia, there's like 40 guys, and all those 40 guys all look good. I don't even know how they get down to narrow it down to 10 people, or let alone the top 5.
You know how they do it.
Dude, watch yourself, dude.
But he's got a lot of followers, right? So it can't hurt.
Oh man, Stuart.
Again, this is not taking anything away from this kid. He's fucking crazy looking, but like, there's a lot of crazy physiques in that division, and I mean, they end up.
Some of the guys, some of the guys were my friends. There were maybe 3-4 guys from Golds that did the Classic. And I mean, I see them in person, right? Like Damien, one of the guys, Damien. I'm like, whoa, this guy, how can somebody physically beat that? But then they show up there and you just get lost in the mix. Nobody, like Stu said, let's be real. We're not saying on purpose, even subconsciously, who are you going to look at? You literally have 30 guys who look phenomenal, shredded to the bone, great posing. How do you pick from 15 to 30? I mean, subconsciously you might be like, okay, I know this guy. That's the guy that won, the nationals, who has all those followers. I'm already looking at him subconsciously. We're not even talking about conscious yet, right? Subconsciously, so automatically you're gonna jump out. Nobody knows these guys. They train at Golds. This is their first Olympia. Okay, they just keep moving back. I've seen a couple of people beat the guy that I know that I'm just like, there's no way. But how closely can you be judging 30th place? It's not that closely, realistically, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, So I think it's in your best interest to get your name out there, just to get a look. If you don't have the goods, it won't matter. But if you have the goods and you get the eyes, it's only going to benefit you.
Yeah, I feel like Classic, it's so like Open, maybe not so much. There's not many guys doing Open a lot, but for Classic, there's so many guys. So I feel like that matters. That matters to an extent, and you're all the same weight class too.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the Austria show that just happened, we'll talk about that later too. But everyone's talking about Stefan and Michael the Bull. Like, if you're just a random dude that just flew over there, they would not even consider you. You know what I mean?
Bro,
like,
all jokes aside, anybody else who came up with that condition that Steph was in wouldn't have got third, bro. He wasn't in shape, bro. He really wasn't in shape. You know, he got third, but the condition wasn't there. Like, he had like the bigger trunks on to try to hide his glutes, but you could still see his glutes were in his shape. It just wasn't. I think it was his worst look. And the crazy part is, like, they raised the weight cap. Think about this, right? He made weight before they made the weight cap, and he wasn't actually peeled. They raise it by like 7 pounds, and now he still doesn't make it. So why is he 12 pounds heavier from his last show, and he wasn't even in shape his last show? And what's the point of doing all this stretching just to make a weight that you're not in shape? It doesn't make sense. It's like, you still need to lose about 10 pounds. So why are you doing, you see the picture of him trying to tiptoe, he's on the side of his foot, they're pulling him, trying to fucking elongate his back. Forget all that. Just get the weight off, because you still have body fat on you. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of work just to do something, just to come up and not win because you're not in shape. It's kind of weird, you know? I don't know.
100%.
That's something I thought about when they raised the weight cap, and I saw a lot of pros like making posts like, "Oh, I've been waiting for this chance. I get to be 7 pounds heavier or 10 pounds heavier." And I'm like, the truth is, the only person that benefited and actually got better and harder was Breon. Nobody else needed that weight. Terrence came in lighter than ever and looked better. So, like, most people don't actually need more weight. Most people need to lose some weight, if we're being honest, right? I don't know. That's just my little 2 cents. But that's a bold haircut right there. You see that hard fade he got? That's bold. But crazy physique. Crazy physique. All right. What was the other show that went on?
Austria muscle contest.
Should I go Sulios or bodybuilding?
Muscle contest.
I don't think
muscle contest?
I don't think anyone has this show, bro. I think only
really
has the show. Go to the page.
Damn, nobody.
The Delft guy
You know how
lost.
much I searched this morning just to find that stuff for you guys? You got to go to muscle.
I got to start going to my whole page. I'm digging myself in a circle here.
I know, man. I don't know what's going on here.
I keep clicking my homepage instead of all right, let's see.
Top right. That's the only footage we got, bro. That's the only footage we got.
Wait, I'm confused. What the fuck is this?
PC.
That is the bodybuilding overall, I think, comparison. Yeah. And the light heavy won the show over shoulder guy. I don't even know his name. I just call him shoulder guy, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
Shoulder guy.
Why is there footage of the men's physique, but there's no footage of the open? Think about that.
Dude, I don't know. This shit was an
bro. What is going on? Nobody.
Michael DeBull won in Austria. I don't know where that footage is. And some other guy came second.
Huh?
His coach put something up. Patrick Tor put something up, I think.
Who's that?
P Tor. Yeah, he was peeled up though, man. He looked good.
He was good.
Well,
yeah.
I think Michael DeBull is the most shorter guy in Classic. I think so.
Munzer.
Huh?
There we go. He's the new Munzer.
Oh, there you go.
Andreas Munzer.
There it is. Down
there. Right here?
Yep.
Yeah, Munzer was a little bit too dry. You don't gotta be that dry.
Hospital dry that time.
I mean, the guy with the bun, he got a pretty good structure. It's just there's so much talent in Classic, bro. Like,
he's dwarfing him. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
he's big.
He's a big guy.
Big guy. I didn't realize, but Steph's back can definitely come up. Because in my head, I'm like, if he's shredded, he beats everybody. Then I'm like, wait, would he beat everybody if he was shredded? And I'm looking at the back pose. I'm like, maybe not, because his back is so far behind him. And even his lower body from behind looks behind him. So I'm like, if he was shredded, he would be even smaller. He would have to be 10 pounds smaller. So would he actually beat them just based off the shape? I don't think he would. I think he would still get there possibly. You know? Think about it. He's smaller than them right now, and he's about 10 pounds out of shape. if he's 10 pounds lighter with better lines, I still don't think that's enough because now he's losing to them on size and maybe still condition. You know,
What's the
what do you
what's Stephon has that a lot of people like? It's not even his shape. There are a lot of guys with good shape in classic.
muscle
It's
bellies?
his muscularity. So you can see like when he does like a most muscular and stuff, he's got fibers running across
Oh
his
yeah,
you know,
all
he's
through his
got
shit.
feathering in his quads. You know, when the muscularity for, you know, a physique that doesn't look like it's maxed out, you know, that dense muscle maturity, we like to call it, it's already there. And I think that's what makes him special, you know.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
Nigerian by chance.
I don't think so.
Close. He's somewhere in that vicinity. He got it somewhere in there. Let me see.
Not Ghanaian though, right, Bitey?
No, he can't be Ghanaian. I mean, he might be Ghanaian because we have an issue, tough time getting in shape. So there's a chance he might be Ghanaian.
So easy.
Boy gets in shape though. He doesn't look grainy per se, but he's in shape. I give him. All right. I think the judges got it right pretty much because now looking at fourth and fifth, I don't think they had the genetics necessarily to beat Stefan, but they were in better shape than Stefan or Stefan. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Because look at him just right there. Obviously, the bull is definitely in more condition, but just look at the feathering, you know, in the chest and the shoulders and the quads.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's his calling card.
If they would have dropped 10 pounds and then filled him up maybe like, 2 more pounds, so maybe 8 pounds lower, but peaked better. I mean, I kind of want to see what that looks like, I kind of want to see what that looks like. But it's hard to say these things until you see it because it's easy to say just come in leaner and you'll win. But then you come in leaner, like Andrew at the Arnold, right? Come in shredded, which he did, but then you lose that pop that kind of makes you, makes you who you are. That happened to me at the USA's, right? I finally did get, in shape, but then I lost my pop too. So sometimes, you don't know till you know.
Speaking of Andrew, what do you guys think? He just announced that he's going to do the Arnold Classic UK. I mean, as bodybuilders and competitors, and we all know the strategy that he needs to get better. What do you think about that decision? Like if you were in his shoes.
I think you know how everybody says he has to come in leaner, right? But for him to come in leaner and still have that look, he has to gain more muscle because of his height, right? So he can't just get leaner because then he would just go back to that Arnold look, which won't win the Arnold, right? So he has to add tissue, which he already probably added 30 pounds of tissue since he turned pro. But he turned pro at the Arnold, then did the Texas, then did the UK Olympia, right back to the Arnold, right back to Texas, right back to the Olympia. So he's gained maybe 20 pounds of tissue without ever forget an off season. I don't even know if he's been able to have any time off.
He hasn't had
yeah. So 2 years without an off season. I think who's that? What's going on?
Oh, that's just my girlfriend. That's it.
Oh, I couldn't tell. Yeah. So imagine 2 years, no off season, no time off, and you still gain maybe 20 pounds. I think he needs time off. You have to get time off at some point. Your body's gonna burn out, But would I love to see him at the Arnold? Of course, we would all love to see him, but that's not conducive to you getting better. And I think he's about to turn 40. You can't do that to your body, But that's just my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, he's competed so much in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I think too much.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Sure. I just think he's just trying to get that. He's trying to get it. You know what I mean? Get that.
Yeah,
get the check. It's a big check. Like if he's doing the UK, I think he'll win it. Doesn't matter. He'll win it.
Samson's doing it. Samson's doing the UK too.
Oh, Samson's doing it. Well,
yeah. Well, that's a. I mean, he's still going.
He'll come in second.
Hey, man, second still gets a big check,
But it's a big check, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I've heard a rumor that
Hottie
doing it too.
Hottie,
if he can get there.
That's the rumor that's floating around. If Hadi does it, is it game over or? Okay, so let's not
Well,
just
according to you, he's never getting in a first call out again, right?
No, I don't think he's gonna get top 3 again, bro. Honestly, not because of his physique, but I mean, you walk off stage. Okay, let's put it like this: if the rumor that he gave Bob his trophy, I mean Bob his medal before he walked off stage is true, he's not winning Arnold. He ain't winning Arnold. I can say that one pretty confidently. You know what I'm saying? But he can. You know, he can.
I don't
Physique
think he's
wise,
doing the Arnold. I don't think he's gonna do it. I think it's just a rumor. I think he's pissed and he's gonna go prepare for next year to come back and get it.
these
I don't think it's an advantage because the Arnold has always been a big man structure. You know, it's more rewarded towards like a pleasing structure and physique. Like, you know, back in RIP Cedric's days, you know, Cedric could go to the Arnold and he would have a fair chance than not a fair chance, but a better look than, you know, the Olympia. And in that vein, if Samson is going there, you know, I just don't see them giving it to Hadi if Samson is there and he has acceptable condition for the show. Just
I don't know, Zay. These rumors they're coming in strong. They're coming in strong. I mean,
very plausible.
I mean, think about it this way: why did he leave after the Olympia if he's doing the Arnold?
Because he got to go to his parade, bro. He got the Hadi parade.
Yeah.
Well, the parade is always going to be there. He can wait until the Arnold is done.
His visa.
Long.
He got to renew
90-day
it.
period.
And
after
you got to
that,
renew
you have
it.
to go back
I mean,
the Arnold is probably an afterthought. Like, you know, after everything that listen, when you're in that zone, he probably thought like, man, I fucked up. Like, I need to, you know, I need to make up for this. I can see him doing the Arnold, honestly, because, you know, the guy's pissed. You know, he has something to prove. Not that he has anything to prove to anyone. You know, the guy's a Mr. Olympia. He's a champion. But when you're pissed like that, sometimes, man, that's that fire that you know that puts you in those positions. That, you know what, I'm just gonna go win every other show, you know, in the league. So I can see him doing it, but I don't think he should.
Now that being said, let's say that whole thing never happened. He never walked off a stage. He stayed there and he kissed Derek on the forehead. Right now, that being said, can he actually win the show? Right, Samson is improving at like rates that we've never seen anybody improve. Right, he just posted a video and he looks like he's 30 pounds heavier. Right, he looks fucking huge and his glutes are in. His glutes were barely in on stage, but they're in right now. And he's like, you know what I'm saying? He looks way bigger, bro. So can he actually beat Samson? Samson only lost by a few points, and Samson is way improved. I don't think Hadi will be. I mean, he could be harder. He could be harder from the back, but I don't know if Hadi is making the improvements that Samson's making. So, do you think he can actually win, or he will win?
I think Hadi's maxed out, dude. He's maxed out in all aspects, to be honest. Like, what kind of improvements can you do more than get a little bit tighter from the back shots?
Yeah.
Is he going to get any bigger? If that's the case, then I don't think it would help his shape. You know?
Yeah. Zayd,
Tyler Mannion did say one thing about his right or left leg being smaller. So maybe he could work on getting up to balance, according to the judge.
I didn't see that though. I did see Tyler say that, but did anybody notice unbalance between his legs?
Sometimes it was. Sometimes he didn't hide it. Yeah.
I didn't notice it till he walked off that stage. Then I was like, you know what? He got an imbalance in his leg.
I didn't notice it. No.
No, I didn't notice it. Yeah, but I don't know if he can actually win it physique wise, because I feel like Samson, his back, it doesn't look like a weakness to me. Now standing next to Derek, everybody's back is a weakness. Standing next to Derek, but I don't think his back is a weakness anymore, honestly. So I think Samson could beat Hadi fair and square, and it's not gonna help Hadi the fact that what happened. Not to keep going over it, but to keep going over it. All right. So
we'll see. We'll find out next year.
Yeah.
And
there
you're
was no
going,
other.
right? You said you're
Bro,
gonna go for the first fucking time, man.
I'm gonna buy my ticket tonight. I'm going for sure.
Hell yeah.
Every every single year, I swear I say that every single year. But I was fully intending on going this year, but I'm not going to Orlando, bro. I ain't doing it.
That was
Orlando, I don't. Yeah, that's kind of it's humid and them. It's not my kind of vibe. But there's no other shows, right? That happen. No other shows.
I don't think
And
there's
I
any
think.
other shows for the rest of the year, man.
Oh shit!
That's it.
So perfect.
Like for the next 3 months.
Hey,
I
baby,
think
are you gonna go to Excalibur?
When is it?
I think it's this coming Sunday. Either this coming Sunday or the next.
And it's gonna be in Anaheim, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck it. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'll
was just
go.
saying because Paul asked me if I want to go. I told him I'd go.
Yeah, let's go. Shake some babies, and you know how that goes.
How many shows does Muscle Contest run out of that fucking Anaheim place, man?
Oh my god!
They're
Every
all the
weekend.
same
Weekend.
venue.
Every weekend,
Seriously.
yeah.
Every other weekend.
Bunch of
Yeah,
Disney fans and
literally.
bodybuilders.
They got San Diego, they got Anaheim, and I mean they got even North LA. Nobody goes to those shows, but they got North LA shows. All right. I think let's finally answer some questions. I don't think we've gotten to the questions in a few
Are
episodes.
we doing this finally?
Finally, man.
For real, fuck.
And that shit, it better be good questions too. Better be okay. From Dalton Smith Bodybuilding. How to find a decent coach on budget, feel guilty using money for bodybuilding instead of family. Well, those are two different scenarios. Let's first answer how to find a decent coach on a budget. Who are we gonna start off with? Boston Lloyd and Tony Huge.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's how I learned, unfortunately.
from the best.
Same.
I do like both of them. They're both. I consider both of them my friends, but that wasn't who I knew.
Let's address him seriously. So this is what I would say. I don't know him. I don't know what he looks like. If he's never competed before,
Let me check him out.
it's probably best to start with a local coach, versus maybe going to someone like Chris Aceto or like Emilio Sarcev. If money is tight between bodybuilding and your family, you shouldn't even have to choose. Personally speaking, like if that is something that is in there, family is always first. You don't need a coach, just because you need to bodybuild. But if you have the dispensable income, but it's limited, probably start with a local coach if it's your first time actually wanting to bodybuild. See if you actually like the damn thing, because Instagram kind of puts this facade around competing and makes it all glamorous. And sometimes when people get into the process, they realize that this isn't something for me.
Oh
So,
yeah.
That's what
a lot of people at nationals this weekend.
So
thank you for your donation.
I'm actually looking at his pictures right now, and he looks like he has good structure, a good frame, and he just needs more muscularity and condition. I think most like local level coaches who have fair pricing could look at him and be like, this guy has potential, and they'll be willing to work with him or even potentially even coach him for free, because that's what happened to me. I've been able to get a few coaches free early on because I didn't have enough muscle or condition, but they can look, anybody with eye can look and be like, whoa, that guy has a structure that has potential. I think he can actually get somebody to coach him for free. Don't go around asking coaches to coach me for free though. Don't do that. But if you talk to them, be like, yeah, I really want to coach. My finances aren't good right now, but I'm willing to save money and, pay you. Hopefully you can work with me. We can work something out, whatever the case is. They'll look at you and they'll definitely work something out with you. So for you in particular, go that route. If you're maybe like an earlier beginner, like you just literally started maybe a couple years, you can learn a lot from podcasts, not this one. Don't learn from this shit. But like John,
Jesus, no.
like J3U, that's Stu's favorite podcast. J3U, You can but he really does. He really teaches some good shit though. John Jewett, super smart. He coaches himself. He teaches you not necessarily how to coach yourself, but how to have an eye and the whole shit. So you can learn a lot from YouTube. What else can you learn? I don't know. Google. There's a lot of places where you can reference that and trial and error. You just literally trial and error. That's how most of us learn, honestly, just from bits of information we picked up from podcasts, maybe pros at the gym, and trial and error. And then I guess if you're like already on a pretty good level and you can't afford a coach, I don't know. But that's the only scenario that I could think of. If you can't afford one, try to coach yourself. I don't fucking know. I don't got the.
My very first show, I coached myself for the most part. Like I asked for help for like the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, you could do that, man. Like you can coach yourself and bring yourself to that point, and if you need some help, like there's people who do they'll pick you up the last peak week or 2 weeks and give you advice. Yeah. And sometimes you just reach out to people, be like, hey, like I'm thinking this right here. What do you think? And they can give you bounce ideas off of people. Get some feedback, and that can help you out a lot. I mean, if you need to save money, man, save that fucking money.
That's what I say. I say honestly, just you can train yourself, get your information yourself, train yourself to a certain point where, let's say, you do your first competition, maybe you win or you come top 5. Once you get to that point where, okay, maybe you're on the national level and you feel like you can actually breach and get to that pro stage, maybe that's when you want to start having that conversation with yourself. Do I really want to invest this kind of money into bodybuilding, if it's going to pay off at that point? Because if you start sinking all that cash and you're making second call outs,
that's not.
Does it pay off?
It's a waste of cash.
Does it pay off eventually? Does it pay off eventually?
I don't know. Hopefully, that's
we're about to find out.
That's the dream, right? That's the dream.
Somebody for 99% of people, it won't. And this needs to be like an expensive hobby that you do with disposable income, not your kid's college fund.
Exactly.
Somebody left a comment, right? And it was supposed to be like a nice comment. It would be like sweet. He's like I like this channel. I can't wait till Beatty turns pro and finally makes it. And I'm thinking, make it? Like, where exactly do I make it? Nothing's gonna change. I'm gonna be the same person doing the same shit. You know what I'm saying?
There's no special phone call from the Manions. There's no like, oh, you get to buy drugs from here now. It's like,
all these suppliers. Yeah, man.
You know what? I mean, you guys, right? So after everyone turned pro, right? You get out, the buzz and everything. You see all the Sulios and Gilco and all that stuff, and then you take that flight home. And you wake up that next morning, and you realize
you gotta go to fucking work.
Yo, but
that's it.
I don't think anybody believes that though. I think people really think your phone just rings for the next 3 years. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, but I think that the general maybe upcoming bodybuilder really young, they think when you get it, that's it. Like you could forget all your worries, forget all your sorrows. Life is different now. Now life is different, but
I mean,
obviously
having a pro card is handy and valuable if you want to like get into coaching or personal training. Like, it's not a credential you had to take a test for, but it is valuable. People put stock in that, whether they should or shouldn't, So if you want to start making money from that too, to maybe pay for a coach, like if you coach 3-5 people, like that's going to more than cover your, bodybuilding expenses. Hopefully.
Also, you know what gets you more clients than turning pro? Turning your clients pro, right? There's a reason why Cameron Cheek has a lot more clients than we do. You know what I'm saying? It's because he's earning. Yeah, he became Jansen. But he why you mention that?
Well, I mean that's literally a pipeline. Like that's how it works, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to be facetious. Like they literally like send clients to him.
Yeah, no, they do. Yeah, they do. But my thing is he's getting so much pro cards that people are gonna be like, oh, I want to work with this guy, right?
Yeah, that's not to say he's not doing a good job. Like but There are a lot of people coming his way through that.
Like having a pro card does add credibility, but the top coaches don't have pro cards, right? Most of them. I mean, some of them do, I'm sure. Huh?
Rebel doesn't have a pro card, you know?
No, he doesn't. I mean, he did say he competed, but we've never seen any pictures from that competition.
I haven't seen these photos.
I'm still trying to find these.
Not getting it wrong.
Hey, if anybody has those pictures, send it to the Fit Nation Instagram, because I kind of want to check those pictures out, see what's going on with that. Anybody? Oh, and actually, Delton Smith, the one that asked the question, shoot me a DM. You got a good structure. Shoot me a DM. I could work something out with you. You know what I'm saying? Have you pushing? I'm gonna have him pushing that fentanyl for me.
You get free coaching if you're a drug mule.
But just so everybody knows, we're joking. This is a long time ago, like Zay said.
That's not who he is anymore.
Yeah, that's not who we are. We just talking shit. Don't believe anything we say.
Yeah.
All right. That was. Anybody got anything to add, or that's good?
That's good.
You good? Okay. From Jehovah Liftness, how bad are your off-season lower back pumps? Who's I feel like Joe is pushing the hardest right now. How hard?
No, we've really eased back. The only time my back got bad was post show when I gained like that 60 pounds, but it's been fine since. Yeah.
60 pounds. It's funny because some people didn't believe it. They're like, how did you actually? That's pretty. I mean, that people do that. That's pretty common. Like with the supers, you know.
Well, it's common. It's not necessarily good. I mean, he had a good 60-pound rebound.
No,
he had abs
right.
at the end of it. You know, people put on 60 pounds sometimes, and it's like, fuck. Like, what happened, man?
What happened to you?
Let me ask. I don't feel like Ken gets lower back pumps. He seems like he keeps it together in off season.
Oh no, dude! Like the same thing with Joe. I do like post show. I do. I get like really, really bad, like to the point where I can't even go on a Stairmaster, man. Damn. Like it was that bad. You know, Andrew Carlos knows. Andrew's a no nonsense guy. He's like, dude, like, you know, because I kind of botched, you know, post contest. I kind of ate a little bit. I'll be honest. So I put on about 30 pounds solid, and you know, Andrew was like, yeah, we're bringing your calories down, 60 minutes of cardio every day. And I did that for the first like 7 weeks straight, you know, and then the lower back pumps went away. So post show, I tend to get it. My last off season, when I hit around like 265, that's like chicken weight for Stu and Joe. But once I got to 265, man, my lower back was killing me.
But like if that's the heaviest you've ever been, right?
Yeah, that's the heaviest.
Like whatever the heaviest you've ever been, that's where it's gonna suck the most. Like,
yeah, that's
like I was 295 last year. I'm about 280, 285 now, and I don't have any lower back pumps. I got back pain from shit being tight, but it's not like you're so full and like cramping up because there's so much fluid on you.
It's funny you mention that because I actually get no lower back pumps whatsoever. Right now, the reason that is because I'm never gonna be my heaviest again, because my heaviest was 315, but it was sloppy, right? So I'm never gonna get sloppy again. So I'm probably never gonna have to be that heavy, or if I do, definitely not over that, right? So I don't really get it because I haven't hit a new threshold in weight, and since I hit it the last time, right? And I just have no need to hit that heavy. So
you say you're never going to get sloppy again?
Well, not as sloppy as I was at 315.
I'm going to hold you that.
I'm kind of sloppy right now. I mean, honestly, but just I'm probably not going to be that heavy unless I'm lean, which I don't see that happening. What's the question again? Did everybody go? Oh, Carlos, how bad are your off-season lower back pumps?
They're not too bad, honestly. I get like shins, like stuff. You know, I mean, I get shin splints when I get heavy. You know, like from when I try to walk on the treadmill. Really? That's when I start getting like some shin splints and stuff. So I don't really get like low back pumps too much. thankfully. I used to, but
Early on,
not too much anymore. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you get
Yeah.
that heavy above your stage weight now, Carlos?
Yeah. I was mid 225s, or I was like 225 at Texas, 260, 263
Oh wow.
was my heaviest.
Okay.
That's
But
that's not too bad though.
Man,
But like,
see,
I-
263 is very different from my 263, man.
But I worked up,
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't too bad. I mean, out of the show, I probably got up to like, probably gained like 15 pounds. So I got up to like 240. And then we really didn't start even pushing in the off season until I got to like before the Olympia. So yeah, I was like 245 and now like 260 something. So
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So I don't really get the back pumps too much. And if you do, I mean, just try to stretch out your glutes and roll out your piriformis and everything. Just do as much as you can to try to keep yourself as mobile as possible.
That's where it really stems from, is like just tightness in all your muscles. I mean, the lower back pumps that come from like oral
D-ball.
use are like that's just I haven't had any of that shit in forever. I don't know about you guys.
No.
Yeah, I don't really do that.
D-ball?
I can't even.
No, I've never done D-ball.
I can't even do D-ball because I can't eat. I'll lose my appetite in a couple of days. Are you a big eater, Carlos? Like how high does your calories get?
I mean, I was pretty low protein because I was working with Dwayne Hamilton and Patrick for a while. So we would be around 5, maybe 6 the highest. But since working with Andrew, we pushed to like 8 and 10, which is the highest I've been since like I was, since I first started. And then, carbohydrates probably like around 120 grams a meal. My last meal, no carbs. Those are my high days. My low days are really low though.
Yeah,
they're probably around like 50 grams of carb per meal.
Yeah, that sounds like what I do basically.
Have you noticed any difference with your stomach?
That's what he's doing to me.
With my stomach? Since
with
increasing protein?
Yeah.
Wait, we've increased it slowly, so that's been awesome. Like we went from like 6, 7, 8. We skipped past 9, went straight to 10. That was brutal for me.
I imagine you're worried about triggering that IBS. That might.
Yeah. So, but I do. I try to stay on top of it. So I make sure my meal timing is, on point. I never try to squeeze in meals early. So I go every 2 to 2.5 hours. I do use like a digestive aid. I use betaine, HCl. That works pretty good. And yeah, I ground a lot of my meats up. Like even my steak, I ground it up. Just because it's just easier to eat. And yeah, that's about it. It's been good. It's been great. I haven't had any issues out of it since that time I had my flare up back in
When
I was getting ready for New York Pro.
New York Pro.
You got colitis, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not IBS, it's colitis. My bad.
Yeah, it's similar. In the family tree.
What a shitty family.
Is that like a permanent thing, or is that it just flares up randomly?
Well, when I got my colonoscopy, they said it's like in remission basically.
Oh damn!
So they're like, oh yeah, you're in remission, but like I still take my medicine and everything, and I still do everything as if I mean, like I can get a flare up anytime. Like I don't chance it. I don't do anything crazy. I don't put crazy sauces or eat ridiculously greasy cheap foods or spicy foods or anything like that. So I eat very bland now.
I gotta be honest, man.
It's whatever it is.
What I believe that if you crave a lot of cheat meals in off season, I don't think you're eating enough, because there's zero cravings when I'm full blown off season. The last thing I'm craving to do is eat more food. Right. So I feel like people who are like always cheating on their diet, unless they're doing it purposely because they need the calories, maybe they have a crazy fast metabolism. But if you're craving burgers all day and pizza and shit, I just don't think you're eating enough, because there really should be no room for craving when you're always full like that,
You get sick of eating. Can't wait to diet. You get sick of eating. You actually can't wait to diet.
I can't wait to diet right now, man. I don't have a big appetite, man. I got to be honest with you. The only reason I push food is that I can literally eat 3,500 calories in the off season and gain muscle, right? Gain weight and gain muscle. But when I did that, I would just have to go even lower in the contest prep, and then you will get hungry in the contest prep eventually. So I'm like, why would I do that just to suffer more? So I would rather push it up to 5,000, 5,500, 6,000, and then I can diet off of. I mean, I still got to go down to 1,500, but rather 1,500 than last year. Last year I stayed leaner in the off season, and I didn't push past like 4,000 calories. I had to go down to 1,200. You know, that sucks. And I was doing 2.5 hours of cardio. So it just sucks, right? So now I'm just not going to do that. I'm just going to eat. If I get fat, I get fat. I don't care. I want to be able to diet on some more food just because.
That's what Andrew and I have been working on this off season, because I'm in the same boat as you. I've never had to eat much to actually grow.
Yeah.
But then when it came to contest prep, I have to literally eat bird food just to get it with excessive cardio. And you know, after this last one, Andrew, you know, that's what we've kind of been working on, is like keep increasing the food, keep me at a relatively decent body composition, so that the next time we start dieting, I'm actually eating like a normal human being, or a normal bodybuilder for the body weight, you know. So yeah.
After I got sick last week, my metabolism has been on fire. Like I went right back to plan, and by Thursday morning I weighed myself, and I still weighed 278. I never got my weight back, and my plan is 6,400 fucking calories.
Damn.
And so yeah, bro, I'm like, what the fuck? So like, I'm supposed to check in today. I haven't sent them my shit yet, but I weighed 283 this morning, but like these last 4 days, I threw in a stupid fucking like crazy cheat meal at the end of every night just to try to get my weight to start moving, because I was like, fuck, bro, what the hell?
Yeah. One thing I noticed when I get sick and I recover from it, my body temperature goes really hot. It's like, you know, you get a cold and it kind of turns to fever and you start running hot. When I'm running hot after I'm sick, my metabolism shoots up. First of all, when I'm sick, I eat a little bit less food just because I'm sick. So I get hungry, and then I end up eating more food now, you know, because I have space. But then my body temperature is still fighting the virus, but it's also eating more food than it was. So my metabolism spikes up like crazy. I just get hot sweats and night sweats and all type of shit. Cold sweats, not hot sweats.
My performance in the gym's been going up though. Because I probably, like, when I put everything down, like I'm only up like 600 calories or whatever from what my plan says to do. But I started getting my weight moving finally. But still, bro, that's like a lot of fucking food. Like it's roughly around 7,000 that I've had to eat this time around. But I'm less than my top weight. But I'm also not on a bunch, like, because I ran out of my GH, and I stopped the Anadrol too. So all that water came off too. So it's
So are you using like juices and stuff to like get to that 7,000, or it's just straight?
So my pre-intra post is a bunch of like carb powder stuff.
Okay.
So that little window right there is like 1,200 calories.
Yeah.
Like right there. And then like I haven't been able to stomach chicken that well, so I'll supplement chicken I'll chug egg whites or I'll cook them. So I'll do that. I'll eat real food, but it's just like just trying to make sure I get all those calories in within like that macro range, like getting the quality proteins in. So I don't want just powders and shit, you know. I want real food.
That'll ruin your stomach too. Just
egg whites, bro. If I drink egg whites, bro, 8 ounces, it's over. That peanut butter turns into a whole different thing. Bro. It's different. Yeah,
it turns into juice.
That shit turns into like a protein shake. You don't. Yeah, egg whites for me is a whole different beast altogether.
What helps with that is oats.
Oh, you mix it together?
Fiber in there, yeah.
If you mix it with oats,
Metamucil.
Oh,
Metamucil,
that just sounds.
Gotta get on that shit.
I got it.
Yeah.
I still didn't order it. I gotta make
I looked
sure.
at Carlos'
turn your peanut butter into a payday,
face when he
bro.
said peanut butter, and it could just tell Carlos like, "What did I get into?"
Bro,
man?
his face is so funny. He's like, what are we talking about?
What are you talking about?
You
That's
still
the
here?
peanut butter. So Carlos, for reference, peanut butter is the consistency of my
Off-season shit.
my
Pick that up quickly.
yeah. He caught on.
Understood.
Then I can relate.
Zayd, I don't think Zayd had an off season yet. Do you get low back pumps?
I do just post show when I binge. I did that when I first competed for the first time. I gained 36 pounds in 8 days, bro. And I had horrible back pumps. The first time,
Okay.
for my first rebound,
Yeah.
I ate with nonstop, like a fucking guy got out of jail. I
Damn.
ate everything. Yeah, 32 pounds in like 8 days, and that was the only time I had really horrible lower back pumps. But after that, I kept it in control each time I did a show. I just didn't want to feel that way again.
It's not. It's just not worth it, man. It's not fucking worth it.
Not at all. Yeah.
Would you, from Roman XRBT, would you agree it's better to push gear early 20s rather than wait till 30 plus due to response? Better. I don't know if better is the word. All right, you guys want me to go first? Or you? What comes to mind is I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's a how, not when. I think regardless if you're 20, 30, or 40, if you do it in a way that uses some kind of common sense or uses a good coach, and you're taking your health phases and you're checking blood work and you're just not winging it, I think that's the best way to do it. But I don't think it matters if you're 20. It just depends what you got going on. Like, did you start competing when you were 20 or 30 or 40? It's irrelevant. It's more so what you do when you start. If you're not winging it and just being an asshole about it or learning from Tony Huge, you should be okay.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put an age on it. Now, if you said like, if you started competing at 20, should you wait till you're 30? Well, that would be kind of stupid, because why would you just go 10 years without seeing, what you can do? That doesn't make sense. But let's go to Zayd. You want to?
Yeah,
How
bro.
do you feel about that?
I think it all depends on how serious are you about bodybuilding, to be honest. All these things I said on the last podcast that I did only comes from a passionate place, bro. Only because I wanted to be a good bodybuilder. I wasn't
2
trying
grams,
to
2 grams of trend.
just somebody. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't the right way, but I feel like if you do stupid shit like this during your 20s, you can bounce back because your body's very resilient versus if you're in the mid 30s, mid 40s. And like you said, anything that you lay out to do, you must have a common sense and don't go off the road with that stuff. But like I said, if you want to do something crazy, I would rather do it in the 20s, not in the 30s. That you can bounce back. And that's why we all have stories, right? Because we did dumb shit in the 20s.
You're gonna do dumb shit, like whether you have like, it's just everybody who's like good at this has been doing it for long enough, has stories of some dumb shit they've done.
Yeah.
Just ask.
Because you gotta know for yourself. I could sit here and tell you, bro, you're not gonna get any more gains if you do more than a gram of test, and you're gonna be like, well, how the fuck you know? You're gonna try yourself, and then you're gonna find out that you didn't get that much better, if you got better at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Maybe we're projecting our irresponsibility onto the other guys on this podcast, but I don't know. Given the choice, if you're not already in your 30s, I'd try to get it over with, especially if you're like gonna be a bigger guy. Like if you got to compete in the 240s, 250s, like you got to get that big first, and it's a lot easier to maintain that than it is to build it in the first place.
Yeah.
So
for my experience, I feel like a little more over time. So you're gonna go up, but it's very incremental. Goes a long ways. So you should go up as long as you're taking those baby steps to get there. compared to just trying to throw it all at once and then see what happens.
It's also one thing I noticed, like when I have younger clients, anytime they stall, it's the question is always the same question. What do you think the question is? Can I add this? Can I go up? I'm like, why is that always your first start? How come you didn't think, well, can I add more rice? You're gonna gain. Trust me, if I add 8 ounces of rice, you're gonna gain weight. So how come nobody? Well, not nobody, but how come people don't think to do that first? Why is it always? Oh, I'm thinking about adding Debo. Why? I feel like
train harder. You know, most people compensate taking more PEDs than the time they need to spend in the gym. I was one of those people, to be honest. I didn't need more drugs. I needed to train harder. So until I realized that, I started making really good gains by pushing myself extra hard during the workouts versus taking 2 cc's extra of strength. You know?
Yeah.
Carlos was going to say, Carlos is our guest, so I want to give, he was going to say something.
Carlos was
going to say something. Bad. Yeah, Carlos, you let us, we're just going to keep rambling on. So.
Nah, bro, I'm good. I'm solid with it. But nah, man, I mean, I don't know. For me personally, you know, I looked at others and I felt, and I saw what I was comfortable, and I looked at it and thought, like, okay, am I comfortable doing that? You know, and like that's the first thing you need to ask yourself, like, are you comfortable, you know, doing, you know, having to push, like if you see this guy pushes, like, am I comfortable even taking it there? Do I even have to take it there? You know? And sometimes it's you don't know if you don't know, like you never do it. But then other times it's like I really think it's more of, you know, like you know, just like we just mentioned, just like going up incrementally over the years. And then at one point, you know, I mean, you're going to see like, oh man, I might have hit a gram of test, but I really don't need that. Let me go back down and let me cruise around like 600, 750, because that's just my sweet spot. And some people's sweet spot might be a little bit higher than yours too. And, you know, but I don't know. If you're at, is it better in the 20s? I would say it's always better just to be, you know, vigilant of your health, you know what I mean, of course, and incrementally just go up and see where like you find that sweet spot. Just don't, like we talked about, don't throw the kitchen sink at yourself and be like, all right, well, I'm just going to do all this and see what happens. You know what I mean? You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen.
I also think why the age thing is relevant is it depends on when you start, right? So if you're starting and you're 19, 20, you have those thoughts in your head to probably do something a bit reckless. I'll use myself as an example. You know, I started a lot later, and it never crossed my head for a second that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna push, you know, 2 grams. It's like I'm gonna do the minimum, use a coach, do it safely, get my blood work before ever thinking of, you know, am I gonna just throw the kitchen sink at things? So there's also a maturity that comes with that. So it either comes from your experience when you did it younger and you find out for yourself, or when you're older and you realize that, you know what, I understand the ramifications if I'm irresponsible of the way I do things. So I'm going to try to do it as best as I can.
Exactly. I think I would have had a different mindset if I started at 20 versus when I started at 25.
Same.
Yeah. Now, with all that being said, right, if I'm being completely honest, right, this is all how we feel now that we have all this experience. Now, take me back to when I was 20 years old. I was not interested on taking the minimum for results. I was only interested in the results, and that's just being honest. So at 20, I'm like, I don't care if this person is telling me to take 500. I'm gonna do 1.5 grams because I want to look like fucking Phil Heath, right? So what I did is I'm like, fuck it. Fuck everything. I want all this shit. I want it all. So I go from like 500 straight to 1 gram, you know. Let's see how this looks. And then initially you're like, whoa, okay, I'm about 5 pounds heavier. Shit is still looking okay. Then you diet down for the show. Then you're like, well, I still only gained 5 to 7 pounds from last year, which I did that already on 500. So it's like, even though I looked like I was bigger when I was pushing double the dose, did I actually make more improvements on half than on half the dose? No, I didn't. So then I had to learn that, okay, you can push a certain dose and get a certain look temporarily that might look like it's is more muscular. But when all that fat and water comes down, you'll realize it wasn't really muscle. It was just that D-ball and that test water retention, right? So don't get bamboozled because, yeah, if you take 3 anadrol and up your test and double your test, you're going to get bigger. But it doesn't mean it's going to translate into tissue. What translates into tissue is just titrating the food up slowly, right? The gear does what the gear does, but more and more doesn't necessarily translate to stage. Like I said, you might actually gain the weight, but that weight is not loyal. It don't stick. So I only know this because I tried it. That's why we're telling you that. You know, we don't really care what you do. No offense. Like you can do whatever you want. We're just trying to share, our honest opinions or experiences so that maybe, hopefully, you don't make the same mistake. But you probably will anyways. But we still should probably, we're still going to share it, right?
Do whatever he wants anyway. That's the truth.
Yeah. But see, I like to say this because when sometimes people, get a little older and they forget how they were when they're younger. Like with Sam Sulek, right? They're like, this is stupid. It's like, but we all did that. We all ate the junk food. We all ate the cereal. So I want people to understand that we can relate because we did the same shit. But now we're talking that it's just not going to do anything. We learned the hard way. So hopefully you don't have to learn the hard way. You could just take our advice, hopefully.
Yeah.
So that's always nice to preface.
Well, when I was telling you that my weight was stalled out and stuff, like they should see that the first thing I said was I added food.
Boom.
Well, I didn't say, "Oh, I jumped on something else." No, I added food.
Yeah.
That's a maturity thing too. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So okay, let's say if Joe is my client, let's say, right, and Joe is getting ready for a show. The last cycle we did 500 tests, 400 EQ, and then we start the offseason. I push the food up. Boom. Joe gains weight. Holding condition. Perfect. I push the food up some more. Joe gains weight, but now he's getting fatter. So he's starting to lose the condition. Then I'm like, okay, now we're getting fat enough. Let's hold it here. Try to get stronger in the gym, bro. Don't train like a pussy. Try to get stronger. Okay. He trains a little harder, gets a little stronger, goes up maybe 2 pounds. Then he stalls. So now we max out the food. We max out the training. Joe tells me I can't eat any more food. My appetite is gone. Maybe I'll try MK or something to get his appetite going. If that doesn't work, now I'll pull food, give his stomach a break, then push it again. I'm going to try everything first. Now, if we do all of this and he's still soft and not getting harder and not getting any more muscle, that's when I can say, okay, maybe next cycle we'll go 750 instead of 500, because now I know kind of where he's at, that he can't seem to make more progress without any other variables, right? So you still have to test every other variable before you push the gear, so food, training, then I even give you a break, push it. I might even try it like an appetite stimulant, like MK677. So what's the limiting factor? Is it appetite? Is it, you know what I'm saying? So we look at everything. That's being a smart coach. A dumb coach, anybody can give you more drugs. I can just be like, yeah, more clan, more T3, more GH, more. Anybody can do that. So part of being a smart coach is knowing how to control variables. That's what a coach is. We're not fucking drug coaches. We're bodybuilding coaches. You should be able to find ways to make improvement without changing the drugs all the time, right? But drugs are great. We all love drugs still.
We didn't say that wasn't an option. That's just the last option.
Exactly. Or you know what? Don't listen to any of it. Fuck it. Just blast the shit from 20 to 40. Who cares?
And don't eat anything.
Yeah, life is short, right? Blast the shit for 20 years. Fuck the food. Don't get
CC's a date.
fuck all of it. But realistically, most people who ask these questions, they're gonna do it anyways, right? Let's be real. All right. Let's hear about rebounds. I feel like we talked about rebounds before. The best way to transition.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. We're gonna wait a few episodes before we do that again.
Is that the best way to transition and you just stop right there?
Yeah, is it the best way?
Pause.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's a pause moment. All right, how to find a better simple. Who would you rather fight? Sean Ray, Mike O'Hearn, or Phil Viz?
I have nothing against Phil Viz. I'll go after Sean Ray.
I don't beat up retards.
Oh,
Yeah, Sean Ray.
They don't fight the guy that tried to get into his store.
You can't see that? Oh shit!
Then you
Oh,
want to
yeah.
story?
Do you still have?
Yeah,
Do you still have that video up?
It's not a story.
No, it's on my story. I'll send it to you.
That shit was hilarious. He literally just went,
Bro. No mercy. He didn't care what was going on. Just don't do it in my store. Get the fuck out. I thought
Dude,
that was
so
hilarious.
this guy, he right when I was closing the door, by coincidence, I was standing right there, and he fucking runs into, he was being chased by 4 other dudes, and he was trying to get into the store just to be protected or something, or whatever. Anyways, I push him out, and I close the door, and they beat the shit out of him. And as it turns out, he was
Just
trying to hit
watching.
on a young girl. Like he was hitting on a
Oh,
young girl,
man.
like
You
13,
see
14.
that video? The funniest thing
Yeah.
is he's not even watching. The guy
Bro,
goes
he's
unpacking the shit.
unbothered. He looks for like 2 seconds and he just go back to doing whatever he's doing. I'm like, this guy is getting fucked up. And he's just like, fuck it.
You can see them
Bro.
wailing on this guy right in front of the door in the video. Zayn is just packing his shit. He doesn't
Not
give a
my
fuck.
Oh,
problem.
man. I want to watch the
not
whole
my
thing.
fight.
Heavyweight
It's
push,
not my
bro.
fucking
That was a
fight.
super heavy push.
Yeah. To be honest, unfortunately, if I was there, I probably would have filmed that shit on my phone. Probably nice. I probably would have filmed that shit. That's crazy though. I think Sean Ray. I have nothing against Mike O'Hearn or Phil Viz. I think Sean Ray. I think everybody
Definitely
goes
Sean Ray. Sean Ray.
Zay picks Hadi.
I would go shot for shot. Fuck it. I would go again.
People think Zay doesn't like Hadi. I don't think
I don't
it's that
know
he doesn't
why.
like
I
him.
like them. I really do.
Yeah, but I think anytime you're honest and critique, I think sometimes people just don't think you like somebody. I don't know.
Yeah. It's that common thing, actually. Like, we're bodybuilders. Yes, maybe you're not at the same level as him, but I still get an opinion about the sport, about what happened on stage. I don't have to be an Olympian to have an opinion. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Even if you didn't compete, that's something like people are like, oh, we want the sport to grow. We want people to see the sport. When you watch football, not everyone plays football. Not everyone plays basketball, but they have an opinion, right?
Oh, hell yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like if you want the sport to grow, you have to allow people to have opinions, whether it's right or wrong. It's just you gotta let people have their opinions.
Preferably know what you're talking about, though. And Zayd obviously does, but
yeah. I mean,
of course.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people.
Sometimes I watch like Nick Strength and Power, and I like him. I like his videos, but sometimes he doesn't really know what he's talking about, and he kind of like, bro, that's a weird.
Okay. With Nick, I think he's been a fan for so long. He knows what he's talking about. I think sometimes the way that he phrases his videos is to appeal to the more mainstream kind of normie audience he's got. Because, like, dude, if you ever talk to the guy, he's a bodybuilding fan through and through. He has been since he was a teenager. But if he's making videos for like average fitness fans who are and he's got like Nexzilla or Mike O'Hearn in the thumbnail, like he's making a product that's not catered towards us. So hyping up some social media guy that might be like, every time Larry Wheels competes, he's like, oh, he might turn pro. Like he was actually pretty close this time, but like
he was,
he was complimenting Larry Wheels and everything a couple of years ago when he did nationals, and he was like not even dieted, So
he wasn't ready to go.
So what I'm saying about that too is actually Nick has competed in like natural organizations before, but he doesn't look like someone that has competed at all, right? So people look at him and they just assume, oh, this guy doesn't look like he lifts, so he doesn't know anything he's talking about. So that's why I say, regardless of if someone has competed or not, let them have their opinion. If they're uneducated about it, then fine, we can educate them. Or tell them, you know what, you're fucking stupid. This is why it's this way.
I didn't like when
did Sulios ever get on stage? I don't
think
I
don't know.
Has he done a show before?
Yeah, he competed. He's competed.
Okay.
He's a big dude, man. He's
so big,
He's
man.
a big guy. He's a big guy in person. He's a big guy in person.
Yeah. I didn't like when Nick Strength and Power said that Stu would have won New York if he smiled.
Me neither.
He said,
I'm like, honestly, bro, have you ever seen Dorian smile? I don't think I've ever seen Dorian smile in my life. You know, it's like it's things like that sometimes. Or he said, the guy that won the Mr. Universe, David, that I had on my podcast. What's his Instagram?
With Debbie.
Destiny.
Destiny.
Whatever,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So he was like, "Oh, this guy is really big for classic physique," and I'm like, "What?" Because he had the shorts the shorts they wear in Dubai, right? Because in Dubai you can't show your ass cheeks, I guess. I don't know, but they
You know
wear the
what?
classic short.
some of the
And he
dumbest
kept-
shit I've ever been told was to shave when I compete. Like, I'm like,
Face?
what? Like,
Oh, like
why the
the
fuck
beard
is my beard gonna affect my placing?
Well, back in the days they didn't like that, but they would tell you like somebody would say, "Hey, shave your beard" or some shit like that. They didn't like that before. Now I don't think anybody cares whatsoever. You know,
Yeah,
like Heidi had a beard.
tattoos back then too was a thing too. Tattoos
Yeah.
too.
But
Yeah.
like back then, when I started competing, I remember my coach would say, "Hey, shave your beard, cut your hair." Like, and then I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Have you ever seen an overall champion with a full beard?" I said, "Oh, no." At the time, there was none. So
Not like a big one, but like,
yeah, no,
come in
they wouldn't.
clean, but
They
like,
wouldn't
take
have.
it off.
They wouldn't have any beard back then. They didn't have any beard at all, and there was no overall winner that was fully tatted up. That wasn't a thing. Now
That wasn't
you could.
cool either, like mainstream.
That's
Like
true. Yeah.
the guys you saw in magazines back then were like clean shaven, pretty looking white guys, Like that's
Yeah.
what the weeders loved. That's what they put on the fucking panels in their magazines, And it's just different now. People have
Bro,
tattoos.
I mean,
People got
look
facial
at Lee
hair.
Priest back then, and look at Lee Priest like now. Like Lee now, he's able to like express himself. Like he always liked all that stuff.
Yeah, he did.
Back
But
when he
he
was
couldn't.
competing, like he couldn't really do it like that. You know what I mean? So
No.
yeah.
Shit, the first time we saw a full beard on stage was Jason Huh. And we all freaked out.
Yeah.
He had a beard like here. Everybody was like, "What the fuck, yo? Look at that! This the beard on him." It's like, yeah, it's a fucking beard. Like, what was the big deal? But back then, it wasn't a thing. And then nowadays, I think everybody has. I mean, I know Howdy has a beard.
I was like, how do you was Mr. Olympia when they told me to shave it? I was like, oh.
Yeah. I think Samson competes with a beard. I think the whole lineup, Regan, everybody has a beard now, right? Almost everybody.
Dude, Stu had a curly fro.
Yeah,
there's a better question.
You almost won New York.
That's allowed. That's actually more.
Well,
more allowed.
So Blue about this. Blue always tells me like if he had his way, he's
Clean
like
cut.
fucking shave your head bald.
Yeah.
Like because it does make you look a little bigger on your own, but in a lineup it don't really matter. I just wonder if like some of the judges don't like it because at least some of the fans were like, "This looks stupid," and it was a contentious
Stu, I saw you in New York, Stu, with the hair. I was sitting in yours, and you look like a caveman. Like
yeah, he did like caveman.
It
was like a caveman. It was cool. What I will say is that what my Johnny Reagan told me is it takes away any personal bias. It doesn't have to be on criteria, but I saw an episode of I think it was either Bro Chat or Bodybuilding and Bullocks, and Paul was talking about Tonio, and he said, "You see, I feel like the tattoos on his back hide his detail," and I'm looking, I'm like, no, they don't. I see every single line on his body, and he's like, maybe I just don't like the tattoos. And I'm like, boom, that's a judge. That's a pro judge.
I can't even see his tattoos, honestly. His skin's so dark.
You can't. But he's dark skinned and he wears dark tan. He has the oil. It's going to reflect. I could barely see Paul's tattoo, and Paul isn't even dark skinned. But when you have the tan on and the oil reflects. So that's a personal bias, right? So, no offense to Paul, no disrespect, but he's looking at it and it's subconscious. I'm not saying he's gonna be like, I'm placing Tonio last because his tattoos, but he's looking at tattoos like, oh, it's distracting. I don't like it. That's a personal bias, right? So just to avoid that, or like that one guy who won super heavy in North American, the Haitian guy with the really long dreads, like it's down to his like feet, basically. You know what I'm talking about? Bundy, yeah, Bundy. Yeah. So that's another thing. He wouldn't do.
He wouldn't finish. Beard.
Exactly, and his beard was down here, and he's not cutting shit. And luckily, he won the super, but not the overall, right? But that being said, there could be a huge personal bias. His hair is in the way. Like all that hair, like cut that shit off. It's like that's not really your business. But there are going to be personal biases. Even Palumbo, when the girl who got second in the open women's bodybuilding at the Olympia, he said, the hair is distracting. I don't like the fade. He got so shit like that. So if Dave, let's say if Dave were the judge, he could be like, I don't like it. I want to see the full head of hair on the girls. That's personal biases.
That's like no, that's not personal biases. It's just bad judging, honestly. Like if you can't block that shit out, man, you have no place.
Yeah, you're looking at a person's physique, not their facial.
I would agree. 100%, bro. But 100%. Like
no,
I don't think
fucking way I'm cutting my hair off again. I'm keeping it. I don't care if anyone dislikes it.
Fuck that. The way I see it is that should make zero issues. Now, if you have a whole fucking mule on your back that's covering all the lines, that's fucking all black ink, that's different. That's kind of on you. But Tonio, it doesn't affect his back at all. I see every detail. So there's a line that's too far. And obviously don't have your hair covering your back. That's common sense, right? Have your hair up or some shit. So, but
if it's gonna hurt your physique, it makes sense. Like I said, if your beard's down here and it covers your upper chest, you're hurting yourself. But like 100%. Stu's hair doesn't go past like here, like it's, and then my beard's not gonna get him in the way of anything. It's like what the fuck?
I think Bob Chick said that. Then Bob Chick said, I don't like the hair. It's, it's distracting or whatever the case. You remember that, right?
I put his opinion in high regard.
but like that would be one of my points. What if Bob was a judge, right? He probably wouldn't say that out loud, but he's thinking it like, I don't fucking like that. So to take away that, the old school guy, they would just say, bro, cut your hair off, cut your beard off. Don't even leave it up to.
Yeah, and I think it's also when you're first getting introduced onto the scene that's also part of it. So like, I'm sure, like, let's say Stu still had his hair right now. There are people that would say that, but as the judging went by, he's in his sophomore year now, junior year. It's like, okay, this is his thing. I don't know if you remember. It's not with the hair, but the same thing. Rolly Winkler, when he first came on the scene, people were like, "Oh, I don't like the way he squints when he poses. He looks like he's taking a dump or something." Like to say that. Right. And then after a while, like it's just like, okay, you know what? That's how Rolly poses. That's just his thing. And it just became normal. Yeah.
He always shook his head. He always said yes.
He did that shit. Yeah, the shit. I think just for like experimental purposes, for the cow, Joe come in with a bald head and a shaved beard, and then Stu come in with a beard and a full head of curls.
I can't grow.
I think Stu.
Oh,
I wouldn't want Mr. Clean to represent USA's.
That's funny. All right, let's see what it is. If we keep doing this podcast, y'all both getting last call out.
That's the goal, man.
We'll do it. It's okay. Glory. We'll get our moment when we do a pose down.
We're gonna go do a live podcast at Beth Francis gym. Nah. All right. Let's see what we got. Let's do one more question. It's about to be 2 hours, I think, right?
Yeah.
Let's do one more. What's your lagging? What's your lagging body part, and how are you going to improve it? Let's start with Carlos.
Well, I mean, for me, obviously it's the back. So I've been working on that. I mean, doing exercises that I really feel, that work for my body. Before I was doing like bent over rows, like a lot of them, like really heavy, but I kind of just like steered away from, just moving weight for the sake of moving weight. So for me, it's just more so just controlling the weight and driving with the elbows, really getting that connection there, back there. And I've seen progress this off season since, we've been doing that. I got a really good tip from Hani at the Texas Pro when I was there. And he was just like, man, he's like, don't really care about the weight. Just drive those elbows back as far as you can. So that's what I've been trying to focus on mostly. And it's been helping a lot. And so that's just for me, bringing up the back and then balancing out the like my glutes. So instead of just like focusing on quads and hams because they're so dominant, trying to bring up the glutes. So I've been doing a little bit more not changing my exercises, but my more of the intent behind them. So when I do like my squats, I don't really go as heavy as I used to do. I don't do 4 or 5 plates. I might just do 2 plates and really just focus on driving out of the hole, squeezing my glutes throughout the motion. Same thing when I do like leg press. I really don't do like a 45-degree leg press. I might do a squat press, throw a band on it, making sure that I keep good tension on my glutes. So those are ways that I'm trying to bring up my weak body parts. So I don't know. I feel like that's just helping me out a lot.
Releasing a booty building ebook soon.
I need to, man. I gotta master these quads and hams.
Hey, Carlos, I don't think you need to squat at all. I think you could just skip the extensions, skip the leg press. You could skip the whole damn leg workout if you want to.
Hey, Carlos, do you deadlift like off the floor?
I do like very low rack pulls, basically.
Okay.
So like right below, like I would say like mid shin.
Okay. So are you doing that for your back or your glutes primarily, or does it not?
I have those on my back days.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's take a look. Peel off, Carlos. Let's see the back.
Let me see those glutes.
Let's see them glutes. Yeah, let's see what's going on with the glutes now.
That's for the after podcast.
Yeah, the after podcast. You guys will get the exclusive check-ins.
All right, let's go. Let's go, Joe, next.
So mine's been my mid back and the sweeps of my quads.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much for the mid back, I most of my career I focused on lats, like all lats. So the way I pull is true to the lat. And when Justin came down, he was pretty much telling me to cheat row. So instead of pulling like elbows tight to the side, you're pretty much like this way. It's like a high pull.
Oh wait, when you say mid back, you mean middle from side to side?
Yeah, like that, right. That lower trap area.
I thought you went like mid. I'm like, how do you get the mid here?
The mid trap area.
Yeah. Okay.
So that part, and then what else did I say? Oh, the sweeps. I've done nothing but hack squat for my squat variation. I always did Smith squats, and I grew my legs, but my glutes are always like just really a strong point. So my ass is always super fat. So I switched to hack squat this whole time off. And just keeping the stance a little more narrow and on the sweep, the whole like being conscious of how I'm actually pressing the weight back up.
Yeah.
Even with my leg press and stuff, keeping conscious about pushing through the sweep compared to like anything in the cheer drop or whatever like that.
Yeah,
I'm trying to keep the loads true to where it stays in that area of my leg. Then once you go super heavy, everything kind of just takes over. You can't really keep it there. And then I just a little bit of extra adductor work to fill in. I didn't have a huge gap, but it was still kind of there on certain poses. Or if I didn't have to like put my legs close together, it would actually make my X frame look a little better if I'm able to stick out my legs a little more.
Yeah, so, one of the reasons why Nick's back double is so fucking impressive is because from the waist down, he's got his legs super far apart, but he's got these hanging adductors coming up into his ass crack, right? They fill all this space down here.
Why are you looking at
this is a guy that doesn't have. Why aren't you? I mean, like he's a guy who doesn't have big sweeps from the front, right? But like they look huge from the back, and like that's just one of those little things in there that just completes it. It's like a
lot of people from the front have that closed off, but when you turn them around, it's this huge fucking gap. And
Hunter actually is like his adductors like touch at his fucking knees, like really low.
They do.
And then from the back, he doesn't have a lot of meat in the middle on his back poses. I don't know if he's just posing it weird, but
I'd have to look at it. But I know what you're saying. A lot of people, I think what they do is they almost like thrust their hips too far forward, and their fucking adductors just kind of disappear.
Bro, that happened to me. So I never been conscious of it because my legs, when they're full, they're good enough, like for my liking, right? But I came in flat at USA's, so the way I was hitting the front double, I changed it for some reason too last minute. I was pulling my abs back because I was like, oh, my waist looks so small. I don't need my waist to look any smaller in the supers, right? But it's just something I did. And I looked and I was like, holy fuck, my adductors fucking disappeared, bro. I was like, fuck, that was a bad move. But I couldn't see that, you know what I'm saying? So, but when your hips are forward, your adductors, pop out. I could have used more adductors and my waist would have been fine, but it's just something that I didn't think about because it wasn't an issue until I was flat. So you got to pose for how you look at the moment. That's why the posing, if you notice, you get to like 6 weeks out, your posing changes. By the time you get 2 weeks out, your posing changes again because your body is changing. So you have to try to hide certain gaps and shit, because you're losing weight.
When you saw me, Beatty, I would have a certain like width in my like front double, all that. And I got used to it, posing like over and over again. When he took off that extra 10 pounds, I got real depleted where my legs shrunk a bit.
It changes.
When I look at my USA pictures, I have this tiny ass fucking gap that I wasn't even conscious of or felt because I was just so used to that being filled. What the fuck? And people were telling me, "Hey, Joe, put your legs closer together." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, this is what I always did. But I look at the pictures, I'm like, "Son of a bitch." That's the thing.
That's the thing, yeah. But also, I actually think your back is your second best body part. But you can never have too much back,
After your face.
Well, I think the more complete your back is overall, the higher your chances of being that top guy. Because most people have the front stuff going on.
Exactly.
You can see a lot of the front stuff, but you have the best back, and you can kind of pose it and like know your cues. You're gonna go pretty far with a great back.
Exactly. And also today with Carlos on, we officially have the most handsome podcast in the world, Bodybuilding podcast. Think about it.
And remember, we're diverse.
Exactly. Oh yeah, look at it. I mean, Carlos, like he might have like some Asian in him somewhere. You see that? He got the eyes going a little bit. No, but think about it. Think about these other podcasts. They're a little older. They getting up there. They don't got the the handsome guys on there. But, all right. But who's next? Let's go, Stu. Your lagging body part.
Well, adductors actually. I mean, for me, it's kind of like the little stuff. It's like stuff like adductors, your teres muscle, like right under your armpit, like up here, a little more lat width. But like generally, and arms, your arms can always be bigger, but generally, like I don't need a ton more muscle. Like I was walking around at nationals and I was one of the bigger guys there, but I posed next to Hunter, and like the thing that Hunter has over a guy like me is like all the little bells and whistles. Like the side of his leg has more stuff going on. He's got adductors touching lower on his legs. I mean, my legs take up the same amount of space silhouette wise, but his look better, So, and then beyond that, it's just going to be conditioning. Because I think I might have talked about this before, but in the last couple of years, when I did the USAs, when I did the preps this year, basically what Blue and I do is like it'll push me down flat on a more aggressive deficit than you typically do, stay flat for like 3 or 4 or 5 days, and then do a refeed. And like I was doing that about once a week. I'd go and get sushi like once a week, and I want to kind of like push that flat period longer because I think I'll be able to now that like I've had this muscle on me for longer, because it was really fresh the last couple of years, and I think there was a higher risk it would have just fallen off of me and kind of withered away. But now I'm a little bigger. I've been bigger for longer. I can push conditioning, and like, dude, these fucking lineups are going to be really good this year. And that's going to be like my only shot at knocking people off. Like I don't have like crazy shit like Carlos does, crazy quads, crazy arms, all that wild shit, but like, sometimes you get rewarded for your conditioning, and if I can really push that,
So,
thing,
so Stu, I've seen you compete in person twice now, right? When I look at you, right, I don't think you have any body fat. I got to be honest with you, right? And I think you're actually pretty dry. You look grainy, but I think it's just detail because
maybe that just comes with time,
That's what I'm thinking. Because if I look at your glutes, right, Like they're lean and they're hard, right? They don't have like actual feathers through them.
Yeah.
But it's not a body fat thing, and you're not
Yeah,
holding
I mean,
water.
you pinch the skin on it, like there's nothing there really. Uh,
Yeah.
but for some reason, I don't look the same as other guys look with that thin of a skin.
That's what I'm
And
thinking.
maybe it's because I'm 26, but fuck, it may as well try to push my conditioning harder. If I
Can't
have
hurt.
the room to push,
So
because like I don't want to wait 5 years before I'm winning pro shows.
yeah,
Because if that's how long the
yeah.
muscle maturity thing's going to take, then fuck that. Like I want to push harder.
So when I saw Joe at the USA's, it was almost the opposite. He doesn't look grainy. He doesn't have veins. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't
Really?
have a veiny look. No, but he's detailed. I saw like his
Oh,
glutes
okay.
have his
Yeah,
glutes are
he's
like
got a lot of lines in his glutes. I think
that's what I'm
that's a
saying.
genetic thing to some extent. Like you don't really have a lot of lines in your glutes, do you?
Have you always
No, I
trained
don't have any
super
line.
heavy, Stu?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay, because I was gonna say I
Um,
always train super heavy, and I don't know if that's what causes like that detail in the body. I've always trained really heavy.
I think it's genetic.
I'm not injecting my glutes either. Like Blue does not let any of his guys shoot their glutes.
Yeah,
So
that's
like
good.
that's not the problem.
I
Yeah,
think
Um,
so
part of it is genetic, dude. I'll be completely
I
honest.
think so
but
too.
you know,
I
you
think
look at
so
like
too.
Juan Morel. Juan Morel didn't have a single line in his ass, but like his
No.
skin was super thin
Yeah, it was
and he
hard.
Yeah,
was most
Pause.
conditioned guy there usually.
That's true.
And you
He
can
trained.
yeah.
see that in real life. You can't see that from a grainy iPhone photo from the third
Mhm.
row, you know.
Well, okay. One more thing, right? I don't know how much of a difference this made, but Stu, you were filled out. You were bursting full. Joe was about 50% full. Joe wasn't full at all. He was just actually he had more muscle tissue than all of us. So he looked bigger, but it
Mhm.
wasn't because he wasn't popping full. Because I saw him full at like 6 weeks out, and he was really round. So he wasn't round and full. He was like still kind of depleted. That might because I know Compton doesn't like to fill the tank all the way. Compton likes to leave a little room because it does show more detail. So
It
maybe,
can. You know,
but for
the thing is though, like, you know, when I'm doing the whole like, you know, last couple of days beforehand, the more I eat, the better I look typically. You know,
oh,
my
keep doing
water
it.
intake's coming down, food's going up, and
Yeah,
it all just kind of comes together. But you know, maybe like a 6 or a 7 out of 10, if I have enough tissue on my frame to make that
yeah,
look good, you know, still look big and impressive in the lineup,
yeah,
and I don't have any like blurring of lines or detail because of fullness,
yeah.
maybe that is a better
That might
look.
be because
Um,
at the USA's you actually needed that fullness because you were standing next to Brandon that was pretty big, right? At New York, I think you had so much tissue that next to like Tonio, you probably didn't need the extra fullness. You probably could have just been a little bit even lighter and hopefully more detailed. But if you're lighter and you don't have more detail, then it doesn't help your case. So
yeah,
I guess you wouldn't know till you tried it.
but
You
I
also
mean,
can't, huh?
go ahead, go
Okay.
ahead.
I was gonna say you also can't play somebody else's game because if Joe comes in 100% full, maybe he loses those lines. Maybe that's not a better look for him. Same way, if you come in half depleted, maybe you look worse. So you only know if you try. You know?
I know
Well,
I'm gonna have a lot of chances to do this over the next season because I'm just gonna be doing a ton of shows.
Good,
Um,
good.
and hopefully I can get better as we go instead of getting worse. But uh, yeah, we'll try all kinds of shit, I guess.
Yeah,
I do eat a ton before shows though. Like
yeah,
I really do eat a lot.
yeah.
And I think like if I could, I didn't have a gut on stage at New York or any of the shows this year, but like if it could be even tighter, like and like
Mm,
have a deeper vacuum in the front double and stuff, I think that would improve the look too.
yeah. Maybe fill out earlier and then don't eat too close to the stage.
Yeah, Blues never had me do that. He kind of has me roll into peak week at like a 3 or a 4 out of 10. Not like
Mhm.
pancake flat, but like not eating a lot. And then we ramp up food, bring down water, and it works
Yeah,
pretty good. But you know, Friday before the show, I'm eating all day.
yeah.
It's a lot.
Okay. You already answered the question, right, Stu?
Yeah, basically like some bells and whistles and conditioning. That's what I need to fix. And
Okay.
then I think I'll have a better shot.
Let's go, Ken, next.
Yeah, I think for me, it's my back is probably the main thing. So just some thickness. So like from the front, things kind of just like pop out, right? When I'm on stage, but from the back, there's muscle there, but I don't have that same effect. And I think it has to do with the thickness. So
what is the difference between
Oh shit.
Sorry, my fault. That shit popped off. Sorry about that.
No, you good. You good, Carl.
So we're doing I have 2 back days right now in rotation, that we're just trying to bring things. One thing that's changed is we've definitely reduced the weights, when it comes to like the row movements and stuff like that. Like I was rowing 3 plates before, like we've dropped that down, focusing more on the form, making sure that, the angle, on like a free barbell row, for example, I'm not at like a 60-degree angle, I'm getting a little bit lower, heavy deadlifts, rack pulls and deadlifts from the floor. And then also just my shoulders. I feel like my shoulder width, like if my shoulders they're a little bit more capped and a bit bigger, it would really solidify from the front. I think that's the remaining thing from the front outside of just general size, right? And then overall, just get everything bigger. Everything is pretty proportional right now. So just maintain that and just get everything bigger in general.
I like so fucking big for a heavyweight, dude.
Yeah,
you're right. Things just pop off of you. But like,
what's your height?
Just like Joe has to do, like that little spot in the middle of your back, your traps, rhomboids. Yeah. That's what's missing on you. Like it's not your lower back. It's not like it's just that little shit in between your shoulder blades.
Yeah. Like I said, the back, because like you said, like from the back, I just feel like there's more that could be done from the back at this current size. There's more that can be done from the back versus the front. So I just want to make sure that's brought up as we're bringing everything up. So that's being prioritized, moving into this season.
I like how Ken trains because it's how I train. Just like this is the basic shit, man. Just move some, go to a hardcore gym and move some weight. Now don't do that ugly shit like that video when I was 20. Don't do that. But
that was cool as fuck though with the squats. That was sick.
That was kind of cool. Yeah. No, but don't do that. But just you don't need that much shit. I feel like sometimes it goes too far in the opposite direction. Form is important, and it's good to do what works for you. But I see way too many, smaller, younger guys doing like weird, like pullover variations and doing some angles, and you know what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, just do a proper row.
It's like
Eric
for me, right? I feel like I'm not against
terrible influence on the fitness industry.
Bro, like I gotta be honest, man. I don't know how he got that big training like that. I gotta be honest with you. Like no shade whatsoever.
Give me a break, dude. He didn't.
Bro,
I don't believe that.
Bro, me and him train at the same gym. He actually trains like that. He actually trains like that. I shit you not.
Okay, this is what I imagine he does. He does like a proper bodybuilding workout, and then he gets his camera gear out, does all of his shit, for the camera, and then he sets up some contorted fucking bench thing and squeezes his face in his lat, and
I think that's what most people think.
30 seconds.
Boy, that's his actual workout. I shit you not. He comes in with the camera, man.
Backstage when we were all pumping up. Because people were asking him, like, yo, dog, ain't no way you train like that for real. And like, no, time under tension, man. Time under tension. That's all it is.
He was talking to Nick and Chris, remember?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's exactly right there. So they're doing that.
That's mind-boggling, man. Because, like, for me, I don't believe that I'm at that stage yet, right? Where I could do, like, the one-arm rows and really just, try to get that. Like, I'm still in the building stage, right? I just need heavy compound movements, and just getting after it day after day with perfect form. Like, I just feel like most people aren't at that stage. Like Stu, you just mentioned, it's about the finer details you're looking for right now.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well down the road.
Yeah, that's where those things start to come into play. But if you're still just trying to build size, man, I mean,
I'm not lifting light, to be clear. Like, I'll do a one-arm cable row, but it's
4 plates on incline.
Yeah, you like I'm still training heavy, but I know how to recruit a muscle properly.
Yeah.
That's the skill that you need to develop, and then you load a
Exactly.
movement and you get
Yeah.
strong at it.
Listen, man,
But
I
people
just
pick
load.
one or the other, and that's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I usually just load that bitch up, and then hopefully I might get a pump after I'm done.
Just bring
Bro,
it down.
I did a hack squat on Friday, and my knees are fucking killing me. You know, like
Yeah,
they're
bro.
fucking hurting.
I used to hack squat so many weights that the gym would get annoyed at me. Like they would look at me, and it wasn't like the form or anything. They were just annoyed that I was lifting that much weight. They just didn't like it. They were like, "Bro, stop lifting so heavy." I'm like, "It's what I do, bro." And they
So
genuinely like they would see me and suck their teeth like, "Here we go, motherfucker, about to lift the gym again." That's how crazy I was training. It was kind of obnoxious, honestly, but fuck it, I don't
You
give a
do
fuck.
take up 22 plates, bro. 20 fucking
Oh.
two. 11 plates aside. Like leave some for the other members.
You was there at Coast when it would be me and Angel and Bernie, and we used to
It's
go. It
over.
would be chalk everywhere. We would be I don't know, whatever. It would be half naked. We'd be in tights and no shirt, whatever we wanted. We would just completely just engulf the whole gym. But we just like that environment. Like we couldn't find a gym like that, so we just made that gym into whatever the fuck. We used to have a fucking not a boombox, like a speaker, and we blast our own music. And everybody's like, "What the fuck? Why
Hey, bro,
blasting this?"
you're like your joints and shit don't hurt when you would lift like that.
It hurts now. It didn't hurt back then.
I was gonna say, 'cause I was like, oh, you had to feel different, bro. Because I woke up the next day like, holy fuck.
I can't.
What Beatty just described, that's exactly how Planet Fitness was born, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. But now being older and more mature, right? I could see how that could be obnoxious. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to see somebody, some 20-year-old walk in the gym and be, and be just doing a lot, yelling and throwing the weights but at least we training hard. I don't give a, it is what it is. All right. So I was gonna ask Ken something. Do you know how to hit a vacuum? Can you hit a vacuum?
No, I can't.
Bro, I feel like your front double, as small as your waist is, I think it would look fucking crazy. You pull a vacuum.
You see, so the funny thing with the front, right? We've played around with it. Andrew likes it when I hit the front and like the chest. You raise the chest up with the rib cage. I preferred, hitting my front with the sitting on the abs, right? Kind of like
it does look good. I did see it, yeah.
Yeah, so like we've still been playing around with it to see what's best. But he prefers the chest up. He said it makes me look a lot bigger, which is why
it does.
Recently I've been doing it that way. But as things go, we'll keep working on it. I feel like I have good abs, so I don't feel like there's a need for me to really pull a vacuum. My abs are actually a strong point on my physique, so I just kind of feel like that's something that I need to keep, especially from the side. If I do like a front side tricep, even if it's illegal now. On the serrated.
Illegal.
Illegal.
Whoa. Get off the stage.
You know how crazy your waist has to be for you to look good in a crunch down front double? That's like prime time Nigerian genetics, bro. Like when I try that shit, bro, especially like when I'm bigger, I look like motherfucking Jason Genova trying to hit a front double. Like that shit looks bad, bro. Like when I hit I'll flex down, my obliques pop the fuck out. That shit looks disgusting, bro. So much anybody who can crunch down and their waist gets smaller, that shit it bothers me. I'm like, where does the stomach go? Like where is it going? Because when I flex, it comes out to the side. So how does it just like?
Mine's
disappear?
the opposite. Like my obliques come in and then my stomach comes out. And it doesn't
That's what
look
happens
good.
to me.
Like my chest looks shallow, my stomach's bulging out, and it's just
when I do it in off season, my little titties come down.
I'm gonna take some check-ins tonight just to send y'all me doing the crunch down front double, just so everybody could just roast me.
Mine is so weird because Sid was running me through poses every weekend, and if I sit on my abs like 70% of the way before they're like fully locked in, everything is like bursting out, right? But if I like really, really sit into it, then the waist just like shrinks in and everything. So
it does.
We don't know which one to use. We just didn't know which one to go with. And
do you lose your arms? Like when you crunch down, because you tend to curl it, right? Like it's hard to keep your arms back.
Yeah, I push the arms back and I just sit into it, sit into it from there. So like, but Andrew prefers the chest up, and I was like, all right, we're going with that. So that's what we did.
The tricky part is as you get like older and your shoulders start getting tight, that crunch down gets rough, right? You see how Phil used to crunch down, and he would be like this. Later in his career, he started crunching down like that, right? Because he couldn't get that, so he was like this. That's when it gets a little tricky.
Yeah, even Nick, when he was doing when he was winning that, when he won his Arnold his first year, he was crunching down really hard, and then he hasn't really done that since.
Yeah,
because now he crunches down like what 70%, 60%.
Yeah,
whereas
60%.
That was dramatic. Yeah,
like
he would
all the way
blow all the way out, and that shit would look bricked out, crazy.
It was like crazy. I prefer that version.
Really? See, I thought his abs looked better, but I thought his waist, his obliques would come out a little bit. It's
those
like
abs are crazy, man. If you have those abs, dude, display them. That's what I say.
You got to show it.
Yeah, those abs are crazy.
Big Ramy did that 1 year. I think he stopped. He was doing the front double crunch, and then he was doing the lat spread, and he would crunch it, but it didn't look very good. It didn't look too good.
2021, I think.
Yeah, 2021. I guess Zaid is the last one to go now. You have any lagging body parts, and how are you gonna bring it up?
Definitely chest and back thickness. I think I just need to go back to basics, like you guys said. High calorie foods, tons of good heavy workouts, and tons of gear.
Fentanyl. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I like cables for chest. I feel like sometimes when you have a lacking body parts, you might lack the connection. But for me personally, I have good connection to my pecs, but they just need more weight more time to develop.
Yeah.
When I'm full, they look good, but when I'm flat, that's the first thing that goes.
Do you Smith press? Do you Smith machine press?
No, not very much. I either use Arsenal strength machines, or I do the free weight barbell.
My suggestion would be a Smith. You really target, and like when you come down, control it, keep the tension on, and push. Like I connect really well with the Smith because of that reason.
I mean, Joe. With your chest, you're gonna connect with everything because that's just how your chest looks. Yeah, it don't matter what you do.
Joe does.
Don't take my advice.
That's like Zayd being like, "Yo, you want to grow your calves? All you got to do is squeeze at the top." It's like, Zayd, your calves that's just how your calves look. But I don't know how I'm just noticing.
Train calves, dude. In prep, I only train calves to burn extra calories. If everything else is sore.
You see, I fucking train chest, baby. I don't just fucking walk around with big tits, like I earned these puppies.
I don't know how I'm just.
You know what, dude?
This.
I have to say, now that you guys are all bigger than me, I have to say, tons of retired pros, they say, I was better when I was lighter. I was better when I didn't push too hard with the food and the drugs. This especially when I had that dinner with Samir Banout the other day, he told me, don't use insulin, don't use Anadrol, don't get more tattoos, get rid of your tattoos, keep the waist tight. He encouraged that I keep it lighter, but try to grow slowly versus just push for the fucking mass.
Well, look at what Stu's doing though. He's refining like a heavyweight. He's been heavier. So he's not trying to put on size that throws off his physique. Now he's just trying to refine it.
But I also hammered a bunch of Anadrol and insulin and food to get there in the first place. So it's not 40 years ago,
Boom.
You have to get big or you will not be considered. Period.
So you think you lose lines as you get bigger?
Potentially, but everyone who's bigger has done
already
the same
lost
thing.
it. Yeah.
Well,
Samir didn't have to compete against 260-pound guys, so he might get away with that. And Stu might be able to do that now because, like he said, he already got up there. But for Zayd doing open at 5'9", you're gonna have to put on, on a side.
If they're saying Regan is still too small, he's already big, right? Regan is big in person, but even what do you hear? The knock on him is, oh, he's still too small. So it's
size,
Yeah, so if that's the rhetoric, then guys like us, we still got to keep pushing up till we meet
Mhm.
that size requirement.
And I mean, better is relative, right? Because you'll say
Yes.
Flex Wheeler would say my best look was 93. That being said, that 93 look wouldn't have beat his 98 look on stage, even though it was a better look. But the judging had changed already. Also with Ronnie, I prefer his 98 look. I think he also said his favorite was 98 look. But would it beat the 2003 look on stage? If it was judged in 2003, probably not, because they were already going for that kind of look. Same way Jay could say, I believe he said his best look was like early on, like when he first turned
2001.
pro. But that doesn't mean it would beat '09. It just is. It looks more aesthetic. I could say the same thing. I like my physique at the heavyweight. I really did like my physique at the heavyweight. I like the lines. I think I was better as far as my shape stood out more and my structure looked better than now, right? But I
Yeah.
definitely wasn't a better bodybuilder. Like I wouldn't beat my heavyweight look wouldn't beat my super look, So it looks more aesthetic, but is it better? Depends what you consider better,
I think Phil
Agreed.
Heath's a good example. He was at like a perfect look, and then he tried to push a little farther and ended up kind of
Yeah.
deteriorating his look. So I think you get to a certain point where
It's
it's
too
just
far.
like I said again. Stu said the bells and whistles, right? Refine those areas, like
Yeah.
what's it called? Fill in the gaps. But as far as like overall mass, there's a point of
Mhm.
no return where it's only going to hurt you.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, Sean Clarita, right? He was bigger than
Yeah.
last year, but it didn't make him better
There you go, another one. Yeah.
That's a good
because now,
example.
yeah, even though he's bigger, was he as hard? Close, but maybe not. And Keon had a really small waist. Karif Baggio had a good waist in the vacuum. So standing next to those guys, it made it stand out like a bigger weakness than it probably was. But he was still better last year and the year before, even when he was smaller. So there does come a point where I think you have to hold off. But at this phase, fuck it, do all of it,
And
do all the GH.
being we're in the open too. And I'm just speaking for myself, right? Carlos and I are of similar heights. So
Mhm.
someone like me, I have to get bigger. I have to get bigger to be able to stand with people that are like 5'9",
How
5'10".
tall are you, Ken?
Well, I was going to say the same thing. Really? Are you the same height?
Same height as Carlos. Yeah. Yeah, we're exactly the same
5'6"?
height. Yeah, like five. Well, total goes 5'7",
Oh,
When he has
I didn't
Crocs on.
wait. I didn't. Well, that's why he looks big at the heavyweight. I thought Ken was like 5'7", 5'8".
No.
Nope.
I'm 5'6".
I'm 5'6".
Yeah, we're
Oh,
exactly the same
see.
height. So,
Mhm.
for my height, I have to push up, because standing next to a taller guy,
Well,
the size disparity is always going to be a disadvantage compared to, like, say, Carlos, right? You already have the mass. You're like, size wise, you're already there. So you
yeah,
can stand
but
next
to an
to
extent, bro. Like when I won the supers, I was the lightest guy on stage.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
just look
So-
way bigger
But
than you
that's
actually.
amateur.
Yeah,
did.
but bro, but
Carlos,
Carlos,
Yeah, but even so, like Jordan Hutchinson weighs more than me.
yeah,
Louis Breed weighs more than me,
that's
and
true.
I still bang with him on size. You know what I mean? Like I was I was in the mid
what I'm saying,
220s.
you don't get what I'm saying. So, Carlos, you're at the perfect size now. Like I'm not at your size yet. So I'm saying, like, for me, I have to get to a size that's almost similar to you to be able to bang with people on the pro stage. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like I still have to develop size wise because I'm shorter to be able to compare to, because the open is getting to a point now where everyone is 5'9" and up. 5'8" is like the average height and up. And the guys that are shorter are like super wide, like Derek,
Yeah, Hardy.
Derek. You're just like super wide
Yeah.
and super big. So if you're not within that realm, you're gonna look small. And that's kind of my predicament moving into the pro ranks. Amateur ranks, I was always one of the biggest, in the heavyweights and
Yeah.
super compared to them. But the pro ranks is completely different,
Can you
And don't
imagine
take
being
this the wrong
Antonio,
way.
Huh?
not having to get so heavy? Just like chilling,
Yeah.
lucky as fuck.
What you gonna say, Stu?
Don't
feel like
take this the
Stu-
wrong way, Carlos, but you do not really fit into this conversation.
Yeah,
So, like, your 225 does not look like Ken's 225 or
yeah,
anyone else who's 5'6".
Yeah.
Because like you're like the amount of tissue on you is one thing, but the way that it looks and it pops off of you you appear more muscular than you actually are, if that makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah, because he doesn't look 220. I mean, I thought he was shit. I thought he was
believed
240
that when you were like when you won the supers. Nobody believed
No.
that, dude. You're like, what the fuck?
Because you got like John De La Rosa is not that probably the same height as him, and John is like in the 240s, but
Yeah.
Carlos looks bigger, you know.
hmm
And even and Ken, you're not that far off weight wise, right? How much did you weigh?
Yeah. For North Americans,
Yeah.
I was like 219, maybe like 219 by finals.
But you see how the distribution is different, because Carlos looks completely different at not that far from the same weight.
And
So
Tonio was in the teens, like 215 or something at the Olympia, and like he was the same, looked pretty similar size wise to me at New York, and he's way lighter.
Well, it's like it's an illusion because
muscle bellies and insertions,
bro. Because when he was in his tracksuit at the Cal, he looked like a high school football player, right? And then you know what I'm saying? And then Stu in his t-shirt looked like a legit caveman, like a straight caveman, right? So they look so different in size in a t-shirt, but you take it off and like he said, I mean, Stu still looked bigger, but not like as, not
more
40
muscular.
pounds bigger.
It didn't look more muscular necessarily.
No, I thought it was insane because like in the tracksuit, bro, he looked like a regular guy, but then he takes it off and gets a little pump going. Has a couple of Rice Krispies or whatever. It was a whole different ball game. I personally still had him beating Ross. I don't know, just being there. I thought he had it personally.
I think Ross was so conditioned, and it was one of those things that it got another person to the Olympia kind of thing. Like it was close conditioning wise.
Here's the thing: Ross was also one of the most conditioned at the Olympia, but it didn't stop him from it didn't make him beat Andrew, because he was the most conditioned. So it's like everything else still has to count. So how does he win that show only off condition? You know what I'm saying? He's only beating Stu and Tony off condition. So in that same metric, then he should have won Vancouver. He should have won, he should have won the damn Olympia.
Dude, did you beat Sergio, or did he place in front of you?
Placed in front of me, yes.
Wow.
Okay. I thought I had you beating Sergio that day.
What, Ken? What you laughing at?
I'm not gonna say nothing.
Well, being
what happened?
I think everyone is thinking the same thing.
I think me, Zayd, and Joe were all at the show.
Beatty was in the audience. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
I was there too.
All I'm gonna say, if I was judging, the results would have been a little different.
Of course.
But Sergio looked phenomenal. I thought Stu looked amazing.
Sergio pulled off a crazy good look for like what he went through to get there. Like he's like fucking 18-hour plane flight or some crazy stuff.
What I will say is his posing, not even the routine, just his compulsories. That shit gets you going emotionally. He has a way of, he shows his emotion on his sleeve, right? I don't know how he's doing it, but he comes out, he got that face, you could tell like he really fucking, this means a lot to him and he loves it. Like I saw that raw emotion. He's so happy.
So you're saying I should have smiled more?
I don't know, bro. You did this thing where you turned around and threw up your hand, and I thought I was watching an angel grace the stage too.
No, I think Stu posed as well.
No, he did. I'm being kind of serious.
But I can't lie. Sergio, he's not smiling, but he's really showing a lot of emotion. And for some reason, it got everybody going. Honestly, I'm sitting there, I'm like, there was something special about that. Is he beating Stu? I don't think so. But that's a strong. If anybody who has that about them is gonna help them out a lot. If you have that,
feel like
this is gonna sound a bit controversial too. But this goes back to what we were saying back with the whole social media thing.
Yeah.
Stu, when you were starting your pro debut, you weren't no one really knew you. You weren't as active, vocally online. So people saw you and you're not smiling and they just thought that, oh, this is just some mute guy. He just doesn't talk. He's got his hair all over the place.
I talk.
You know what I mean? And now you talk. People now know you And it's like, okay, he poses on stage, but he's not smiling, but they're like, oh, that's just how he is. But your social media is what has given people that context. And that's why, like, when people say social media doesn't matter, it doesn't make sense, because when you look at it logically, it really does. It really does.
Yeah.
I'd kind of feel silly like doing. I'd feel silly like doing all this, like the hyping up the crowd kind of shit, unless you're like clearly in first place, you know? Because if you're like, I'm fucking fourth, yeah, let's go, guys. I'm like, get out of here, man.
Yeah, like Nashville, I was watching it. There was some light. He came out and he's like this. It's like,
like, what?
You weigh as much as my leg, bro.
That's so random.
Like, who you doing this for? You know, I don't even know you.
But I'm excited to be here.
No, my favorite part of the USA is that Stu won. I think that was 2022. They were doing the overall pose down, right?
Oh, and then God, no, where are we bringing this up?
And then the
someone
heavyweight.
Talk to me about this at nationals.
That was I just thought it was funny. I forgot the name of the guy who won the heavyweight.
Austin Connolly.
Yeah, he gets, bro. He's animated the whole time. He's moving and gyrating and shit. So he looks at Stu and he wanted to do the head together most muscular. So he goes to Stu. He's like, "Come on, baby, let's do it, and let's do it right here." And Stu was like this. And Stu just walked away.
See, that is exactly why I don't do all the hand shit if I'm on stage. Like, I never want to look like that.
Well, did anybody catch that? Because I was
so many
laughing.
people caught that too.
Stu, I get that completely, man. Because I get that completely. North Americans, it wasn't the same, but it was similar. Like the pose down right after the overall, and everyone's doing their pose down, and everyone starts rushing to where I'm at. I'm like, bro, I just want my space to do it. People,
leave me alone.
Go to the other side. I walk to the other side, and everyone chases me again. And I'm like, guys, like, can't you guys just like separate yourselves? Like, why do we have to be in this little, you know?
Nah, bro, you're the champ. They gotta chase you down.
Yeah, they gotta try to get you. But
right.
it was the way he did it. Like most people, they'll tap you on the shoulder and be like, "Yo, let's do it." But he was like, he pushed him. He like, let's go. And so it was like
he thought he was gonna win that too.
I think he was sure he was gonna win. So he was like, let's it's game time. But let me show you what I got. And Stu was like, nah, bro. And he's just like, we're not
peasant.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said it to me, man. I want to see
it. You know what? I think I saw it somewhere. I think it was a video. Did he post it on his page?
He might have. I don't know.
I think he posted y'all like at the photo shoot, and I think you guys were both laughing about it. Yeah. And then I saw it.
I think I did a great job of playing that off cool when he confronted me about it later.
Yeah. But it's like, I mean, you wasn't vibing with the energy, and he
I
turned
just
around
don't
to the
do
crowd.
that stuff, man. Like I don't really.
I know what you mean.
Me and Stu probably would have gone against each other if I would have done the 22.
Oh yeah,
that would have been a heavyweight.
You would have been a heavy, yeah. You would have beat Austin.
Yeah, so I would have been like, "Hey, Stu."
Yeah, Stu, let's go. No, and then when Stu walked off, Austin turns to the crowd and he was like, and then he walked off. I was like, bro, that was crazy. That was crazy. All right, gentlemen, I think we've been on what?
You going
2
hypo?
hours? Yeah, I'm going hypo, but don't log off. Don't log off because I want to tell y'all something real quick. Yeah. But everybody, thanks for watching. We appreciate all the yo, Zaid, your camera, I think, been like that the whole podcast. It's been the wrong way, I think. I don't know why I just picked that up.
Oh,
at the very end.
Okay, and now we good to go. Let's do it all over again
and go.
No, but what I was saying, yeah, thank you for anybody who's come up to us in person or anybody who enjoys the show. A lot of people who won nationals were watching the show. I actually learned because I was trying to get a few guys on, and they actually were watching the show as they were prepping for the show, which is dope, right?
Oh, I want to give a quick shout out to Jay Marcus, the bodybuilding barber. That dude's fucking cool as hell. He's like fucking Sean's right hand man. Sean Cleary's right hand man. They're like peas in a pod. They're so funny. But
I gotta meet this guy.
I hung out
He's
with him
awesome,
all
bro.
weekend. Man. He's so funny. Like he
Yeah,
is
yeah.
so fucking funny, and he watches the show. So
That's dope. Some of the people that come up to me in person, I don't think I wouldn't think they watched the show. Like they were like regular people, like kind of skinny, you know. I didn't think that was the demographic.
damn, gotta call him out like that.
Maybe.
Not viewers
Not
anymore.
watching anymore.
Hey,
Damn,
bro,
my
they're
bad.
young,
My bad.
inspiring bodybuilders, dog.
My bad. But all right, we signing off. Zayd fixed his camera. We signing off. We'll catch you guys for next episode.